So, and before we get into anything else here this morning, because I'm fascinated with the obsession with this gator thing here. I mean, I know that there are people, the animal huggers, who are into gators. Have anybody ever seen any gator droppings? Because I thought I heard a few this morning during the course of the last half hour of that show. Gator droppings. Here's Miami. Hello.
Okay, hold on a second.
Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir?
Hey, I moved down here a few months ago from Houston.
Yes?
I moved down here during the time when the baseball team was selling out all their star players.
Yeah.
And I remember you were ranting and raving about that. You were giving away your tickets and different things, and you were trying to influence...
and nobody cared.
Right, but I remember that you were saying that you weren't against the players. You were trying to send a message, or we should send a message.
I don't care who the owner is. Hockey to me is more important than Wayne Huizenga or any one person. I don't give a crap who owns the team, in addition to which he claims he's going to be selling the team. I hope he does real soon.
Okay.
I don't care about that. Than worrying about who the goddamn owner is. But
okay.
I mean, but let's face it. I mean, as bad as the team is, it's not like the hockey team had a whole bunch of superstars in the face with the Marlin thing. Okay, he went out and he bought a championship team, spent a lot of money for it, and then he said, well, we got to have a new stadium. You know, we're not going to be able to keep the Marlins here. And then he gave everybody away, and they still didn't care. They lost 108 games, and nobody still cared about it.
Well,
any Gainesville people online?
No.
Anybody online this morning? No, not a one. See what I'm saying? Is that a difficult thing to find out? Somebody who lived in Gainesville, somebody who went to school there. We got to find out what the hell is the big attraction with Gainesville. Maybe it's even more exciting than East Lansing. You think so?
No.
Ann Arbor?
No.
Columbus?
No.
Christopher?
No.
5, 6, 7. I'll sit back here and wait. This is going to be just like yesterday all over again. No music. I'll wait. Let that transmitter kick off. 567-0560. Pound 560 on the mobile one line. This is one of the great mysteries of my life. Gainesville. Gator droppings. Let's hear it. Come on. How long do you think this is going to take? And see, this one guy, the first guy that calls, he wants to do, not like a full-blown shot, but a little shot at me, aren't I a hypocrite? Yes, I am about the hockey thing. And like I said, I don't care who the goddamn owner is. Hey, just look around. Just keep looking around you. 567-0560. Pound 560 on the mobile one line. This morning, by the way. 22 after 2. We got the Booster at 6. The Detroit Red Wings, 7 o'clock tonight. Any interest in that?
No.
No. Just one. Do you think I asked a difficult question? Seriously, I want an honest answer. Do you think that was a difficult... I mean, if see the point I'm trying to make, if there's all this interest in this Gator crap and Gator football and this redneck Steve Spurrier, then there must be some connection with Gainesville. It's 300 effing miles away from here. And I'm waiting to hear what it is, and I can't get one... And you know they're all listening. Every goddamn one of them, including this jackass that wrote the anonymous postcard, get rid of Neil Rogers, we want sports. And I'm trying to learn. I want you to learn me something, okay? And I still can't hear nothing here about Gainesville, which evidently is a hell of a lot more important than anything else that's going on. 567-0560. Are these lines working? The phone ain't working. How do you like that? I'm sitting here screaming and yelling and carrying on. The phone's not working. How did the one guy get through?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing? I'd like to...
Where did you come from?
I just called from Mobile in Boca.
How long ago?
It's been ringing for about 10 rings.
Our phone... I'm sitting here. You know something? I could be saying every word. The phone's broke.
It might be.
No, it might be. It is.
I'm calling about Gainesville, though.
Okay, let's hear it, pal. You're on.
Class of 96 graduate. Went there for 5 years.
And tell me all about Gainesville. What is it
so
hard?
I guess it's your consummate college town. I've been to some other college towns, and I thought Gainesville was the best one.
Yeah.
I've been
better
to
than East Lansing. Better than East Lansing, Michigan.
I don't know. I've never been up there.
Oh.
I've only been to a couple.
Definitely not better than Ann Arbor.
Only been to a couple schools in the South.
Can't beat that gator meat.
Yeah.
So, I can't talk about East Lansing and Columbus and places like that. My brother did go to Columbus about a month ago, though. for a football game. And he said he really had a great time. He said that, of course, the people in Ohio are very nice, and that Columbus was a great college town.
Yeah,
and he said it was a little bit comparable to Gainesville, except that it was just a much bigger city, and of course you've got the different weather and the different
because I hear people saying, well, of course they sell out every game in a football game because there's nothing else to do there. I hear that all the time.
They do say that. That's true, but you have to remember that about half the people that go to those games come from all around. They drive up from here, from Tampa, from Jacksonville. So I mean,
what's the at University of Florida? What's the student population?
Right now, it's right around 40,000.
40,000, and they do 70,000 and some for the games, right?
85.
85 and sell out every game, of course.
That's right. Every game's sold out, even if we're playing Deaf and Dumb U or if we're playing Florida State, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you're calling the Hurricanes names Deaf and Dumb U now?
No.
Gator meat.
I'm talking about like those little cream puffs that we played open the season.
Right. Well, everybody's got to do that,
And again, the reason why we do that is because, our fans...
See, the only problem is up in East Lansing, we tried that too, but every now and then they beat us, so it didn't work out too well. Like Central Michigan, Eastern, University of Detroit.
Luckily, that hasn't happened to us recently, so hopefully it won't happen in the near future.
Okay, pal, go Gators.
All right.
See ya.
Take care, Neil.
Now, this was the most revealing thing that has ever happened to me in my life. I've been broadcasting for 600 years. And I'm sitting here, and I'm getting, every day, I'm getting sabotaged over here. I'm getting a job. You saw it. You're a witness.
I saw it. Like I said, I hate this system. The Gettner people suck.
This phone system, I'm going to tell you, I'd like to break the goddamn thing now. I'm going to do a Hank Goldberg right here on the air and lose it. I'm going to do a Hank right here and just totally lose it. Because I've been sitting here for goddamn 10 months with a phone system that doesn't effing work. I'm sitting here saying to myself, even for a crank to be calling in, I mean, I know if we got anybody listening, something must be going on. I reach over here and I start pressing all the goddamn buttons. Now, let me ask you this. What happened after I did that suddenly magically allowed the calls to start coming through, George? What happened?
I just picked them up. It's still broken.
So, in other words, they don't ring.
They don't ring, or it doesn't show up on here. Now, I could go and reset the system to see if that helps, and it probably will, but that'll hang up on everybody.
I'm going to tell you something. This guy upstairs who wants to be a big shot, like I've told you before, Mr. Wannabe, we could get a goddamn erector set. We could get our own little goddamn teeny-tiny transmitter and put it out here on 441. At least the people on 441 could hear the goddamn station in their cars, which they can't now. I could build a better goddamn studio with an erector set with a play toy than this man has put here for us. 10 months sitting here with a goddamn... And you remember in the beginning when the phones wouldn't drop off? We've had more effing technical goddamn problems and still got those big numbers. How do you like that for all you sports nerds that can't stand this show who are all listening right now?
I'm going to reset it during the break. Everyone will be...
We ought to reset the whole goddamn radio station is what we ought to do. 27 after 10 at QAM.
This station stands for nothing.
QAM, a talk show without a phone that works. How do you like that? We're kind of used to it, though, aren't we? By this point, yeah. So, in other words, there were all these people calling. Every goddamn line had somebody on the other end, but they weren't ringing because the little green light don't come on in here. Like on line 2 here? Say, now the dial isn't, but when it rings, it doesn't light up, is what you're saying to me?
That's what I'm saying.
Great. Okay, so we'll do the best we can, as usual, here on Slipshod Radio. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm a Florida graduate, and I got a little stuff to spew on that city. A lot of people are calling up trying to make this a glorified town about Gainesville and the University of Florida. Let's face it, the nickname for that town is Hogtown.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's known by the locals up there. It's called Hogtown.
Yeah.
And number 2, the only thing that's ever been beneficial out of the University of Florida is its marijuana growing. It's got some of the best weed in America.
Oh! Now we're talking.
The drug culture is phenomenal. And that's about what we did up there for 4 years, is got stoned, got laid, and went to class once a week.
Like I said, just like Ann Arbor, it sounds like to me.
It was a great town. I'll never forget it. I lost a few brain cells, but it was worth every dollar of my dad's money.
But what's the obsession down here? I mean, this Gator thing, it's bigger than the Dolphins. It's bigger than all the other sports in this town put together. It's like a mental sickness down here.
Well, seriously, if you go up there and you have to spend any time in Gainesville, it's like being under jailhouse arrest. There's nothing to do. It's the most boring town in the world. Mm-hmm. That's why everybody goes to the football games. If you're not getting high, you're going to football games, you're getting laid.
So when they're bragging about 85,000 people filling up every game, even when they're playing the Bumfork U, it means nothing.
It means nothing. Those people aren't from Gainesville. They travel in, like the last caller said. They travel from all over the state of Florida. The biggest boosters in Florida are from Gainesville. They got the biggest booster club. But there's nothing going on in Gainesville. It's a depressing, sad, pathetic town. And it's known as Hog Town, and any local will call you up and tell you that's the nickname.
All right.
Thank you, Neil.
Okay, pal.
Good day.
Okay, George is on the way to see how good the weed is up there. We have...
I already know how good it is.
What do you mean?
No,
how good the weed is from Gainesville?
I visited friends up there, and yeah, he's right.
The place sucks and there's nothing to do there but to get stoned.
And get laid.
So what's wrong with that? What's everybody bitching about? Sounds okay to me. 2 open lines going on here. We ought to just play music today and teach these bastards a goddamn lesson. That's what we really ought to do. Stick us in here with a bunch of second-rate crap. Top-rated show in the goddamn market. Top billing, top rate. By the way, do we ever get those numbers? No, from 10 to 2?
Oh, and I don't think we're going to, at least not today.
Why not?
Duff is on vacation, and Greg will not be in today.
Okay, so here you go. I want you to follow this now. Follow the bouncing ball, okay? The general manager, Greg Reed, with the pasty suit, he won't be in today at all. And the program director, you think I get a lot of vacations. This guy, when he's here, he's on vacation, number one. But now he's on another. What is this? It's the end of October. It's only his 18th week on vacation this year. Is that what the deal is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there you go. So if there's something wrong, is there anybody... Oh, you know who's in charge? Oh, my God. And she don't talk to us. That's right. The water Nazi. She's the one in charge. Maybe that's why it's taking them so long to get that goddamn parking lot fixed downstairs. You notice that? They're repaving the parking lot, the inside, for those of us big shots. That's like a 10-year project down there now.
By the way, when you go on vacation, can I borrow your clicker so I can park under the building like a hot shot?
No.
Next question. So this is fantastic. So let's just have a party here today, okay? Let's do our own thing. We got nobody running the place. It's on automatic pilot.
There's your buddy.
All right, that was great.
That was his call for this 15 minutes.
And he's call. Now which buddy is that?
That's the old guy.
Oh, the old guy
with the
is
death
at it
threats.
today. Oh, with the death threats. Yeah.
You, me, everybody, the wife, the receptionist upstairs.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to him again.
Have his number.
Do you have his number? What is his number? The old guy that calls here and keeps making death threats and that wants to have his phone evidently taken out?
It's already been reported to Southern Bell.
It's already been reported to Southern Bell. 305.
948. 3914.
3914. He's been calling us for weeks. Some old crusty farter keeps calling here with death threats and all kinds of obscenities and obnoxious stuff, and maybe you want to keep him busy today. What is it again? 305 what? Bull in Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Something wrong with the phone.
Yeah, I know.
No. What happened before was when I was trying to reach, everything was busy, and all of a sudden, when you went the ballistic there, then all of a sudden the calls started going through. So a little bit crazy.
Yeah. I've been feeling for the last 3 or 4 months here somebody's diddling with his phone system. I mean, I can't prove it, but I have very strong beliefs because I've been doing this too goddamn long.
Yeah.
Somebody's diddling with us.
A couple of things. Last Friday night, I saw you there at the game. Was that the worst ever?
Yes, Friday was one of the all-time worst. Not the worst, but it was certainly in the worst 5.
One of the worst performances. I mean, no enthusiasm. It was disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely disgraceful. Another thing.
And so then he goes and benches the 2 best players on the team.
Exactly.
See, this is a guy, when he came here, Terry Murray, I don't want to get started again, but I will. He said, well, these guys better perform because if they don't, they'll be sitting on the bench. Right. And in the meantime, the guys that don't perform, like Kirk Muller and Niedermeyer, they're in the lineup every goddamn night. And, he wants to take it out on the guys who are our best players, which makes no sense at all to anybody.
How about the Worrell thing? It really pissed me off to watch. Remember when he dropped the gloves and the guy wouldn't engage him? Was it Bashir? Well, who's the guy in number 8 for...
Donald Bashir.
Bashir, yeah. I mean, it's like... Was Murray telling him to go out there and get something going just to try and incite the team because...
I don't know, but by the time he got into that fight, it was already 4-0. The game was already over, so it was totally meaningless. No, they're not going to get sucked into his stupid goon crap because they know that number 1, he really can't fight. Number 2, he can't play. And other than that, why is he out there so much?
The truth is...
When you got a team that can't score, why do you put Iron Hands Worrell out there all the time?
I disagreed with you a little last year. I really thought I started to see some skills in this guy.
He can't play. I mean, I thought he skated a little better in that exhibition game, but as far as being a real player, forget it. He's no player.
It was really disgraceful watching him. I mean, his stick handling, puck handling is absolutely disgraceful.
Right.
And all he did every time, he took a lot of cheap shots. And by that time, I was so damn frustrated. It was 4-0, which is when I left. But just to watch him out to try and engage somebody, it was really a disgraceful performance.
And by the way, speaking of Donald Brashear, who used to play for the Canadians, he's been around the league. Speaking of Donald Brashear from Vancouver, even though he is their goon, but nevertheless, he can play. He has skills. I've seen him make some pretty damn good plays. He's a real player as opposed to just a goon who can't do anything out there and who keeps getting stuck out there over and over again.
This guy is like the Reggie Fleming back in the 60s with the Rangers. Remember when all he had to do was fight? When he was trying to fight a guy like John Ferguson from Montreal, you know, he would kick the crap out of him. But Ferguson could skate.
Yeah.
You know, Ferguson was a decent
Terry
player.
Murray will get away with it because, like everything else that's going on here, nobody gives a crap. Nobody says anything except me, and that's why I'm going to keep ripping him in the ass.
All right, I got a question for you, and this is
real
serious.
quick. Yeah.
Real quick. There's a topic in the Palm Beach Post today. Can AIDS be transmitted from oral sex? Seriously.
Yes.
See, they're saying it can't.
They're saying it can't?
Cannot, right.
I don't agree with that. That's not what I've read.
All right, good luck.
Okay, and back to you. Right. Okay, we have 2 open lines in Dade 1 and Broward. If they're ringing, we have no idea, but let's... Okay, I'm just checking because we don't have a phone system that works today, and we got nobody running the joint today. So we won't get those numbers that we're looking for. We won't get any assistance here because we're on automatic pilot, which means probably a lot of music coming up. 10:41 at 5
a.m.
It's Dade in Miami town at 560 WQAM.
Remember when you first got...
Yeah. I think we lost her. Okay, we have an open line in Broward, 2 in Dade. Our phone system's all screwed up here. I'm not going to worry about the phone, okay? You do whatever you want with those assholes, okay? She waited all of that time. We finally got her on. She was on the verge of, like, getting into a bad cell like OJ or whatever, and then all of a sudden she popped right out. That was the end of her. Anyway, John Grogan has a very interesting DNA thing. It's the organization. It doesn't cost you anything to join. We got bumper stickers. We got placards. We got all kinds of stuff, buttons. But we don't have to be organized because it's just common sense. Do no harm. DNH. But that's an interesting thing there. It brings back to mind a situation that happened with me years ago. And I think we broke the attendance record for the Miracle at anywhere. So I'm signing autographs. I'm doing the whole thing. And then I walk in to see part of the game. You know, I walk around into the stadium, and there's an old fart sitting up there with some other people. And I look up, and I hear him say, I mean, he's one of those people who's talking about you, but make sure it's loud enough so that you can hear it. Or maybe his hearing aid wasn't working that day. He's an atheist. Yeah, the guy says, oh, there's Neil. And the guy said, yeah, but he's an atheist. And he gave him a look like, oh, geez. He's an atheist. I mean, I could have expected if he said, oh, he's a fag, you know, something like that. But this far transcended any of that stuff. And that was the first time it ever dawned on me that there's this enormous stigma of not being one of the God people. Even if you're a person, that's not good enough. You have to be one of the God people. So God bless you, Frank Schiavone, whoever the hell you are. 80 years old, and he's from religious intolerant lunatics like the ones who killed the doctor in Buffalo the other day. Oh, yeah, we believe we're pro-life. We don't believe in your life, but we're pro-life for those fetuses.
Generally say that Gainesville is a snorer town, but it's actually not a bad little town. And as far as
compared to what? As compared to Tallahassee?
Well, yeah.
I mean, what could be worse than Tallahassee?
It's there's nothing that's going to compare to Miami, you know, as far as diversity and all that. But it's not a bad town.
As far as perversity?
Yeah, as far as perversity.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight's game, you got to be excited.
Lineup. Thought those guys were all on the team last year. Okay, Dade County lines are open. I could make eggs right here on the thing. I really could. I could fry eggs right on the counter. We got a phone system that doesn't work. Last night on the TV show, which is the last time I'm ever going to even mention it until it goes off next week, the beginning they got the sound finally straightened out, no hum, and then as the show went on, the sound kept getting lower and lower, and the hum came back. We didn't want to disappoint. Want to make sure you get your free hum job on Whammy there. So we got a half-assed TV deal over there, which they can't technically get that thing straightened out. I got a situation here where we got a telephone system that has been crap since the day we sat down here, and now is just totally falling apart.
I'm going to reset the whole thing during this break.
And what's that going to do?
Maybe nothing, maybe something. Who knows?
Don't you think it'd be a lot better if I just sat here and read all my great articles and played music and stuff?
But nevertheless,
and not worried about the goddamn phone?
I'm just warning you.
Haven't I been telling you that we've been getting dicked on this phone for weeks now?
Yes,
I mean, I've been doing this too long. I'm sorry. But you saw that right there when we sat down, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I started talking about it and punching the buttons up, magically and miraculously, all these people were on the line. I mean, I'm not that paranoid that I would sit here and make it up, because I know there's plenty of times in this town that you could say every word that's ever been invented, 4-letter and 5-letter and 2-letter, as an FU, and nobody would call. But this is just too goddamn obvious. And is there anybody here in charge?
No.
Anybody involved in any of this stuff?
No.
Straightened out for us?
No.
Of course not. They're all, this one's on vacation again, and this one is out to lunch, and this one's out of the building, and who the hell knows who's in charge here? Maybe it's the water Nazi.
Oh.
1056, one line, for all you people that spend some time on...
Here we are, Astro. Hello, Mr. Jetson. Welcome to Radio Shop.
Hi. Jane sent me out to pick up a couple of batteries.
Oh, what's she using them for?
She wouldn't say. Just give me a couple of C-cells.
Sure, that'll be 1 bar of latinum.
Here you go.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Jetson. I gotta ask you a few questions.
I'm in kind of a hurry.
Well, it won't take long. What's your address?
Skypad Apartment.
When were you born?
2062.
Now, do you follow or obey religious organizations that might pose a threat to the Galactic Federation?
Hey, what kind of...
I'm sorry, Mr. Jetson, but I can't sell you these batteries until you answer my question.
Okay, no.
Very good, Mr. Jetson. And now, what's your penis size?
What? What's that got to do?
Sorry, Mr. Jetson. Maybe
I'm a
another...
cartoon, damn it.
Well, sir, how about just your social galaxy number?
Oh, we'll be here all day.
Answer the question, Mr. Jetson.
1,000,000,000,000.
At Radio Schlock, we have questions, and you damn well better have the answers.
Is this for that free catalog?
Oh, no, you've got to pay for that.
And you came to the right place. It's Radio Schlock, all right. It's 11:01 at 560 WQM. By the way, molestation.
Oh, my God.
Joseph Millian, a poor black bookkeeper in Haiti who reversed his fortunes to become the charismatic and revered leader of a Delray Beach church, was convicted on Tuesday of sexually molesting a young member of his congregation. A 6-member jury.
How else are you going to do it?
What?
How else are you going to do it?
The jury found Millian not guilty of charges that he later developed a more involved sexual relationship with a girl. Millian, who remains with the pastor of the Full Assembly Church of God and leader of its 300-member congregation, faces as many as 12 years in prison. Dozens of members of the congregation crowded into the West Palm Beach courtroom on between the courtroom benches. Many of Millian's supporters, who consider him something of a cultural guru, wept openly after the verdict. One woman collapsed in her husband's arms when Palm Beach County Circuit Judge Howard C. Berman ordered Millian back into custody and fondled them shortly after they arrived from Haiti. 2 of the women say they later developed full sexual relations with Millian, but did not question it because of his stature in the community. Some of the alleged abuse took place more than a decade ago, so because of statutes of limitation, he was fatally flawed because Millian confessed to police that he had fondled the girls. Oh, Father, that's good. Here we go again. So at least this time it was with girls. There you go. That's a breath of fresh air, a little bit of a change. Got to check out and see if you're a virgin, sweetheart.
Yeah, man.
Let me just stick my probe in there and see what we find. Just probing for the truth. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello.
You know who this is, Go Leafs Go?
Yeah.
I just wanted to comment on a couple of things. First of all, I go to Gainesville every year, not for a football game, and I'll get back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Gainesville's a beautiful town.
Really?
It's low rolling hills. It's got a lot of Victorian homes that are just, some of...
Hockey transcends all of this other crap as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, when I first came down here 22 years ago, I used to go out on my balcony and tune in Dan Kelly on KMOX St. Louis so I could hear a hockey game, and Channel 2 would televise the game when they were fundraising, and they did more fundraising than they did televising of the game. Now, here's a bombshell. The #1 event in the city of Gainesville every year is not a football game. It's the Gator National Drag Races held in March. It brings in more money.
Oh, my God.
Than all the Gator football games combined.
They
what
have
do you
drag
think
queens
of that?
in March in Gainesville?
Every year in March.
Yeah, they're dragging it?
Yep. And the racing, too, and like I said, it brings in more money than all the football games combined.
Yeah.
How about that?
So, in other words, it's a great place.
Absolutely.
As compared to here, but then what isn't?
Real houses, Neil.
Yeah.
Real houses, not all this concrete, stock, and stucco. The houses actually look like houses.
Ain't no Toronto, though, I'll guarantee you that.
No, it ain't no Toronto, but
No.
it is a nice town. Have a good one.
Okay, and God bless you, sir, and go Leafs go. Okay, there you go. We're getting a few reports on Gainesville. I'm going to tell you, I sat here that first 20 or 25 minutes, which seemed like an eternity to me. And I realize we've gone through a rough, what is it, about the last 6 months on this radio station? But, I mean, this was just unbelievable. Just incredible. And it was like that skit on SCTV where the guy's sitting there doing a show, and they can't make the phone ring for love or money, and finally, after he starts screaming and swearing and carrying on, and let's kill all your children, and the phone finally rings, and, oh, wrong number. And that's what I felt like here this morning. Because we're being dicked here with a goddamn bunch of cheap crap that they got at Woolworths or somewhere, at Radio Schlock, and we're trying to make magic here for these people. And is there anybody here who has any interest in this?
No.
Oh, no. Well, they just all conveniently happen to be out again here today. Get that automatic pilot switch going because there ain't nobody here running the ship. Oh. Yeah, just the water Nazi. Here's a mobile in Fort Myers. Hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
I'm here.
Yes, sir.
I can barely hear you, though.
Very briefly. Yesterday, apparently, on my suggestion, one of these Colombian hockey fans called in.
Oh, yeah, okay, have a nice day, pal. This guy wants to call every single day and tell me about his... See, we don't play that game here, sir. We got just like the guy that called me yesterday who wanted to pick up where he was the day before and repeat the same whole conversation again about pot and whatever we were talking about. We don't play that game here, sir. I realize you're kind of desperate over there in Fort Myers. Just kiss the ground that you got this show on the air, at least temporarily. But we're not going to have a running repartee. This is now his third attempt to call in here and unload his hostility and psychosis about Colombians. I hate to break the news to you, sir. I hope this doesn't burst your bubble. I like Colombians, okay? I'm not too big on the Medellin cartel, but anybody outside of that, which I think there might be 10 people in the country you haven't joined yet, other than that, I like Colombians, okay? So you yahoos over there in Fort Myers, and I realize that not everybody who's listening, in fact, most people listening to the show don't fall in that category, but a few have spilled over who think that you can use this radio show to spew your generalized hatred and venom. Forget it. Go get your sheets out, have a great time this weekend at the rally, and leave us alone over here, okay? And just kiss the ground that you're over there in Fort Myers. Otherwise, the Colombians would come and goddamn put your ass out of town on a rail. That's right. What a bunch of horse crap that is. Every day this guy feels compelled to call in like he's going to have a running debate. I'll tell you what, old buddy. Why not come on down here? You give us a date. You give us a date at high noon, and we'll get a whole bunch of our Colombian friends to meet you down here, and we'll have a seminar at the Holiday Inn. And you can stand there and look them right in the puss, face to face. And you can tell them that they're all a bunch of subhuman, no good, thieving scumbag, or whatever the hell you said. And then see what the response is, okay? And maybe you might learn something. Maybe you might be able to iron out your differences. Oh. 8 minutes after 11 at 5:06.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
560 WQM. Here's some interesting facts, which I think may have some truth in it. It says, your phone lines remain in trouble, so I resorted to the facts. The interest with the Florida Gators is nothing but the contrived controversy the morning team comes up with to stimulate calls, and since we have a great number of overgrown children running around with their college banners stuck to their asses, those are the callers they get on the line. An effort, I guess, to impress the audience with the popularity of the show, 10 question marks. And he goes on to say, I'm not a hockey expert by any stretch of the imagination, but what the new coach of the Panthers has done with Mr. Whitney is not only unacceptable, but tedious repetition of the crappy product we were given last year. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Okay, excellent job, sir. Excellent observation, and right on all counts. And again, I don't want to diddle with anybody else's show, but I can only speak as somebody who's like a captive audience here the last 20 minutes of that show when I'm getting ready to do this show, if we ever get the equipment working. And that is that hearing all these Gator people calling in and hearing that goddamn tape of that radio station up there over and over again is ponderous at best. Now, am I the only, George and I, are we the only two people in this state, in this town, who don't care about the Gators?
Uh-huh.
We've got to be. We're out of step, mister. You better get with it. I don't give a flying crap about the Gators, about the Seminoles, about the Hurricanes, or about the Spartans, to be honest with you. I saw a little bit of their pathetic performance against Minnesota Saturday, which they wound up blowing a game in the last minute and a half. Minnesota scores 10 points. And we wound up blowing a game. And I'm used to it. Did it change my life?
No.
It reminds me of a call I had this morning. I'm coming to work, and some kid calls. He's reading a prepared speech about the Dolphins, congratulating them on their win on Sunday, and bada-beep, bada-boom. And then he talks about the Buffalo. He's reading it. He's got it written out longhand. And he talks about all the sleepless nights we've had in the past over Andre Reed and this one and Bruce Smith. And I'm thinking to myself, I know it's been a great rivalry for a long time until the Bills' fortunes turned south, but I mean, is there anybody in this town that had sleepless nights about the Dolphins playing the Buffalo Bills?
No.
I mean, did you ever have any sleepless nights over it? Unless maybe you were making a big bet. I can understand having sleepless nights if you're making, a compulsive gambler like Defoe or some of the other people we got on this station. But a sleepless night, and this was some kid who I don't think is making any bets on the game, not yet. Sleepless nights over Bruce Smith and Andre Reed and Jim Kelly, who's long gone, and all those other goyim. Wow, and Thurman Thomas. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I've been all day, huh?
Yes? No, all day?
Well, this morning.
Yeah.
I went to Gainesville last week, and I went to school there for 5.5 years.
Yes, sir.
And you have some older people calling in. They're kind of missing the point behind Gainesville.
Okay, what is the point behind Gainesville?
I spent 5.5 years there. I still go a couple times a year. It's because of the drug scene, Neil.
Yeah.
Can't beat that gator meat.
Well, it's not any different than any other city or town. There's a lot of hillbillies, a lot of money that go there.
Well, why don't these people who call in on the morning show, why don't they admit that instead of talking about Steve Spaghetti Schwarzer's on the team and who's going to catch the most passes and who's got the biggest linemen and all this other tedious crap? Why don't they talk about the good stuff?
Well, up until age 40, Neil.
Maybe when they discover Viagra in Gainesville, man, maybe these guys might get a life.
And they have the best all-night rave club in the country in Gainesville.
Yeah. For the good news, there's our first honest call of the year, and it's already the end of October. We have an open line in Broward, Dade County, because the phone is still all screwed up and will be what?
I keep checking them. Nothing.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't want to say those are the Dade lines because that's another thing with this system. Some of them come in on those last three lines. Who knows where the phones are coming in here? I'm sitting here screaming and carrying on like a maniac, and the phone system's a piece of crap anyway. So what's the point? 567-056 will just keep, going up and down. Just keep punching it. And the phone lines, too, and see if there's anybody. Button, who's got the button, baby? This is unbelievable. I've done talk shows under bizarre circumstances before in my life, but never in my life with one where we're playing hide and seek today with a phone. Just beautiful. Nice going, Greg. Here's a mobile in Margate. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Real briefly, I want to just say I agree with everything you say about religion.
Speak in tongues. Grab a hold of that wicked snake like they do on Kenneth's Frequency and twist it and yank it. And the snake, too. 567-0560. I have no idea what we got and what we don't have because I do know what we do have, and that's a crappy phone system that's been crappy since the day we said, who makes this thing? Gentner? Whoever the hell Gentner is, I wish you have a bad bowel movement, okay? I hope you wind up with a bruised goddamn rectum like I had there for a few days.
Not only does their phone system suck, their call screening software sucks, was designed by someone who never produced a show.
Yeah.
And when you try to talk to them about it, they don't want to hear from it.
Yeah.
We tried to get some modifications.
But I'll bet you it sure was cheap compared to whatever we used on a real radio station.
No question.
You can knock IOD all you want, but I'll tell you one thing, okay? And we had some stuff over there like those old cart machines. We had some stuff that wasn't maybe the best. But generally speaking, Mitch Ween over there, and then even, what's his name?
Roy!
At Paxson, who was a hard ass, but nevertheless, they spent just untold amounts of money to bring in the best goddamn equipment, the most state-of-the-art stuff that money could buy. Unfortunately, just like over there at Whammy, they had a bunch of engineers who didn't know how to make it work right with their digital stuff at the TV station. But nevertheless, they spared no expense in bringing us in the state-of-the-art to try at least to give us the opportunity to compete, to be a real goddamn radio station on AM, which ain't easy, baby. But this joint over here, and I'm going to tell you, you Beasley people over there in Naples, you're a disgrace. You're not broadcasters, you're schlockmeisters. Schlockmeisters. If this audience could have seen what we went through those last days of December before we finally got on the air, coming in here day after day after day and being told, well, this part, and the stuff was coming in here piecemeal. Because we sure weren't going to spend that money to buy new stuff, were we?
No.
Oh, no. We had to get the computer over here, the DCS that plays all of this neat stuff like that. We had to get this from Philadelphia from some of their other bumfork station up there, and it came in pieces. One carton one day, another carton, and of course, poor George Corso was working 24 hours a day trying to put it together with Scotch tape. And then, of course, this beat-up old cart deck that they probably kicked out of one of theirs, maybe even the Fort Myers station said, here, we don't want this thing in the building anymore. That also came in a box. Like I said, this was like a Tinker Toy studio, a Tinker Toy radio station. We're sitting here with like a 10 or 11 share in men in this market on a make-believe goddamn radio station. getting postcards saying, hey, Greg Reed, get Neil off. We want sports on the air 24 hours a day. How do you like that? So you can go back to your 2 shares. Or maybe your 1 shares like when Christine was on here in the midday. And even when I was off the air for 7 months, did they still have a number here in midday? No, they did not. So just so we can satisfy some of these overgrown children, and like I said, you listen to the conversation, you try to talk about any sport in this town. There are no people in this town who can discuss sports intelligently, maybe like 1% of the people here. And then most of those are people who are fans of other teams because they're sure as hell not from here. Stevie Weiserman, that Weiser guy yesterday with Stevie Weiserman. Yeah, another hockey expert. But college football, now we're talking, baby, because and we found out why. They got the good weed up there in Gainesville. At least we finally had somebody who straightened it out for us. Only took us an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
but we finally got to the bottom of it. Get the seeds out of it. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You tell them about Beasley. They got all the money down there in Naples, and they remodeled 770 over here, you know.
Did they really?
Yeah, so that's about the time that you came on.
Yeah.
So they probably
Well, I hope the signal is loud and clear over there and that everybody over on the West Coast hears me saying that the Beasleys are a cheap bunch of bastards who look like they came out of a Dempsey dumpster.
Well,
is what they look like.
They're giving up good talk radio over here, and they're putting on another shock jock in the morning with old Joe, and so we'll see what happens here. I wanted to talk to you about Gainesville.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about it?
Anything you want to tell me, pal. I've never been there.
Well,
I want to find out what the big attraction, besides all the guys get laid twice a day and the weed is good. But other than that...
Well, it's right about the weed. When you go across Payne's Prairie, it turns blue over there.
All right.
And Sensimilia was really good. They got the homegrown.
Yeah.
You know, with the little red hairs coming out of it.
Yeah.
Like
the little red hairs coming out of it.
Yeah.
Little red pubic hairs coming out of it, yeah.
But I wouldn't know about that stuff. I haven't smoked that for a long time.
Yeah, we believe you. I know you got to watch your ass in Fort Myers. We understand.
Always was good when it was there, but it's a nice town. It's they got hills.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of big open spaces to grow all that good stuff out in. That's the good part. We don't have that down here.
Well, you go towards Waldo, you know, outside of town, up towards Stark.
Yeah.
By
Rayford there, yeah.
Yeah, Rayford, you know. And so you got some real country out in that area.
See, that's one good thing, that Gainesville's close to Stark, so that when they take most of those Gator criminals players away, they don't have far to go.
Is that what's been happening? They
don't talk too much about it, you know, but they take a lot of those big guys away, middle of the night.
Well, I wish that we could get some good talk radio over here. I'd rather just have No Mo Joe.
Yeah.
And leave Gene Roberts on here, but I don't know. Beasley don't want to listen.
Yeah. Well, we keep saying that on our morning show here too. No Mo Joe, but they won't listen to us. Okay, pal. Have a great day, and hide the good stuff because there's a little knock at your door right now. Okay, we have an open line in Broward and a couple in Dade, maybe not. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got the old broken down Beasley crap here today, baby. The best crap that money can buy. Because believe me, no matter which, whether it's Bruce Beasley or the other guys, their middle name is crap. Make no mistake about that. That's what they specialize in. 24 hours a day, round the clock. Crap. Because last time I heard, crap is real cheap. You can get it by the pound right in your backyard. 25, I was so mellow, it was frightening. And then I went through that first 20 minutes here of screaming and carrying on and wondering if I was losing my mind and not seeing one light on the board light up. And then, can you imagine what would have happened if I wouldn't have gone up and down the thing there and checked those lines? I'd be in a goddamn rubber room by now. I'd be in a goddamn straitjacket in a rubber room. And my good friend Larry Mixon over there at Bell South, Southern Bell, whatever you're calling yourself this week, how many years have I gone through this with you, mister? With your crappy phone operation in your phone system and sending the tones down here, and your goddamn linemen who are playing games and fast and loose with whatever's going on here in terms of this make-believe phone system. You're not fooling me, Larry. This horse crap has been going on for 150 years with me here. 25 after 11 at 5 o'clock. The Bookster at 6. We got the Panthers and the Detroit Red Wings. 7 o'clock pregame, 7. Pick up those tickets. Panther Pack, 500 of those and 500 more. Let's pack that place tonight, and if Terry Murray diddles around the way I think he's going to diddle around, then we'll start booing his ass. Behind you, Terry. I'm just a few rows behind you, Terry. Get a brain, Terry. That's right. I'm going to have old laryngitis tomorrow morning. 5670560. Let me get him. Let me try him. 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We're operating with what?
We can play call or no call.
Call or no call. That's good. Rick and Sons would like that. No call on 1. No call on 2. No call on 3, I predict. No call on 3. Okay, there you go. Well, it's a 50-50 chance. It's like flipping your thing, flipping your loin. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line in Dade County, maybe, we think. And if you call and it rings, too bad. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What were you talking about Bruce Smith for?
Meaning what?
I don't know. I missed it. You were talking about...
Well, then open up your ears, okay? This guy's calling me. What was I talking about him for? Because he's an asshole, pal, just like you are. He's a big, fat asshole from Buffalo, wherever he's from. Open line at Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. And all 3 in Dade, I think. Hello? QAM.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Why are you screening?
What is it?
Why are you screening?
What do you mean, why am I screening?
Yeah.
Oh, is this one of the little Julios, one of our little boyfriends? Yeah, blow it out your ass. That's what we got. Why aren't we screening? He wants to know. Oh, he's operating his own little show over there in his house. And, of course, he had to run. His boyfriend is there panting on the bed. And this guy, you notice how he had to put the instrument down and run to the phone? Who the hell are you kidding, sweetheart? Julio? Tell you one thing, he ain't no Colombian. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Your material and your sound bites are very steel.
They're very what?
Steel. You need some new material,
Steel?
Neil.
Then why are you listening?
I monitor you. You
you're
suck.
another one that monitors. It's the same asshole from Boca again who pretends to be in Fort Lauderdale. Over and over and over again. He's monitoring. He not only is monitoring because he hates me in the show, but he's also, at least while he has to monitor, he'd like to hear some fresh new material is what he says. Okay, one call left on the board here. Mobile in Deerfield Beach, and then we can go to the music, like I said. Hello?
Hey, Neil, what's going on?
Not too much, pal. Another nightmarish day for measly greed broadcasting.
I'll tell you, these phones are really screwed up. I was calling for Bo Griffiths, but I guess I got you.
Yeah, I believe it.
Listen,
Psychic hotline.
I went to a UF for about 5.5 years.
FU, yeah.
I can give you the real scoop on what's
going
on in UF. Well, first off, I mean, let's get to the point of what you really want to know. Make your life enjoyable in Gainesville, what you might want to go there for. The gay population there is thriving.
Really?
I mean,
all right. Yeah. Lots of fags in Gainesville.
But, you know, I mean, it's a real liberal town.
There's no fags in
Gainesville.
But in the summer, though, it sucks. It's absolutely horrible. It's
yeah.
a big, overgrown hick town. That's all it is.
Uh-huh.
You know, but it's a great town. I mean, I was there, like I said, for 5.5 years. Although if I would have had to do it all over again, I would have went to FSU. And the only reason that is, you know, if you're a swinging Richard, I mean, there are too many swinging Richards in Gainesville. All right, I mean,
really?
Put it that way.
Huh.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're a hot girl in Gainesville, you got it made. You know, I mean, so anyway, that's really it.
Okay, glad you had a great time, pal.
Thanks a lot.
Bottoms up. Okay, there's the lowdown. It's just a party place where people get drunk, they get laid, they got the good weed, they got green stuff, blue stuff, yellow stuff of undetermined origin, and that's it. And all these assholes calling on a morning show talking about the Big Schwartz is going to go out and catch the pass. Nobody cares about that. So quit putting on an act. Okay, we cleaned the board out, thank God. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Lots of response to that John Grogan column that I read.
Stalls were many glory holes.
Really?
Filled with concrete.
Yeah.
On a sign on the wall by the Volusia County people up there, the drilling of holes on these premises is unlawful and violators will be prosecuted. Guess they don't like those glory holes up there, Neil.
Yeah, in fact, last time I was up there was a big sign that said...
You're looking for glory holes.
Yeah.
Well, they're looking for them. That's it, Neil.
Okay, thanks for the good news. That's what they're doing up there in Volusia County, baby. That's right. Oh! I guess the goat got tired. He got wore out. 2 open lines a day, 567. So if you're black or Hispanic, my suggestion is to you, you probably shouldn't be in Florida in the first place unless you're like in Dade County. But nevertheless, because they'll come and get your ass. But don't be driving through Volusia County, especially if you got more than 50 cents. If you got some spare change, and don't be feeling the change either. Don't be reaching in your pocket feeling the change, or you're going straight to goddamn jail.
And also don't have a Dade County tag.
Oh, God. Dead giveaway. Here's Mobile in Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I'm
Great.
a Colombian down here in South Florida.
A Colombian?
Yes, sir.
Holy crap.
I'll tell you what, I heard a gentleman about 2 or 3 days ago, you played a skit saying that we were the most despicable people on earth.
He was in it. That's the same guy that called 20 minutes ago trying to get on again to say the same crap from Fort
I'll tell
Myers.
you what, I'm sure
And by the way, he's not a gentleman. He's an asshole. Right.
Yeah. I'm sure he's never been to our country, and if he was,
Spent 10 years
if
there,
he ever
that's his
did
story.
go, I'm sure
Oh, no,
he'd come back and...
he claims he spent 10 years there, probably behind bars.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? The drug trade, most people over there don't use it. It's the man here in the United States that people, they want it, so we supply it. So
There
what's
you go.
wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
And
You're just
I'm
enterprising
with you.
business.
So girls.
There you go. Or even one.
There you go, Neil. That's all I have right now.
Okay,
my man.
pal. Hasta que mil vidas.
Okay.
We have an open line at Broward, 2 and Dave. Excitement. I'm going to get that Panther song out again today. Anybody want to hear that?
No.
I'm going to spend a couple more hours on Terry Murray, man. Not. Now, what just happened there? What was that? I looked off to the side here for like a half a second. Half a second. I just counted it by actual count.
Well, that was them just hanging out.
All at the same time.
2 of them.
Everybody at the same time. Is that what you just telling
Well,
me?
there's nobody in Dade. There has not been.
Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello, our last call of the year. Hello.
Oh, I hope I'm a good last call of the
Better
year,
be. Take all the time you want, pal.
Well, thank you. I
This
appreciate
is
that.
every day here is another day from hell in this place. You can't just come in here and do a goddamn regular radio show. Every day in here is another major song and a dance.
I feel your pain.
Believe me.
Neil, with the Red Wings being in town, I think there should be one lesson to the great people of South Florida, and that is that the way that the Red Wings became.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
the day he made that deal and brought in Bob Essens, the human sieve, to play goal, they said, hey, Brian, by the way, get out of here. You're gone. You're out.
That's right. And that's,
See, they won't figure it out here because, first of all, the problem is you have an owner of the team. All he's going to do in the meantime, 10 games, he doesn't give a crap anymore.
Everything's paid as soon as they have a Hard Rock Cafe.
And if you expect the fans here to give a crap, I mean, they'll let me sit here and rant and rave and make up a bunch of no BM buttons and jump on the bandwagon for that. But there's no concern. There's no interest. They don't even know who the hell's playing anymore. Correct.
It's an absolute fashion show. So.
I got my Maple Leaf stuff on. I'm dolled up.
There you go.
Okay.
Attaboy.
And they beat your ass twice. Okay, we have an open line today. Well, it may ring, it may not ring. We might pick it up, we might not, but it's like telephone roulette today, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What a deal. And by the way, don't forget this Saturday, noon to 2. I keep forgetting all about these we have here. Just a little bit over and above and beyond. If you want to, and also even a Rick and Suds, they got a few of those left. And also the Best of Neil stuff you can order right there on the internet. At Neil Rogers to be at Ben & Jerry's in Aventura, noon to 2. Aventura, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Last night, Channel 51 showed The Exorcist in Espanol.
All right.
And it was a hoot. Do
Okay.
you remember the scene where Father Marin and Father Karras first go in to talk to Reagan?
Yeah.
And he starts screaming and everything at him. He goes into Spanish. He calls him a maricón.
Well, she was multilingual. Maricón, right?
He calls him Padre Maricón.
To mama in right, in Hades, right.
And also, the power
Lots of mamas going on in there.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah.
En español, es el poder de Cristo te obliga.
All right. Great. There you go.
Why you do this to me?
Exactly.
There you go. Thanks, Dale.
Okay, have a great day, pal. May the Spirit of Christ compel you to do something good. We have an open line in Broward. Well, let's just check that out, okay? Line 1, there you go. Dial tone on 1. Dial tone 3. See, we have to keep checking these out because they don't ring and they don't light up and they don't do anything, and our phone system is totally broken down. But at least one good thing, the people in Dade are consistent. We don't have to check those too much because they're not ringing anyway. Let's try Coral Springs. Hello? Coral Springs.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing? This drug epidemic is out of control again in South Florida, and there's a little more to that airport stuff than you're allowing your listeners to hear.
That I'm allowing them to hear? What does that mean?
There's so much, the kilo of cocaine in South Florida now is cheaper than it's been in about 25 years. There's more drugs coming through here. And when they're doing those profiles...
Wait, but your stuff one was in Houston, Texas, February 27, 1991. It's got the name of the individual. It's got the name of the judge who made the ruling on it. It's got all the details. It is true. It is true. People are having their...
Anytime you're at an international airport, they have a right to search you no matter what. And, that's part of the obligation of flying.
And they have a right to take any money you have on you and tell you that you're a drug dealer and not even give you a receipt?
They do give you a receipt. If they didn't, that'd be corruption. If they didn't give a receipt, there's a reason for that.
Wait, what would the reason be, sir?
Probably because they've identified that person as a drug trafficker, and he actually is going to owe people money. If they don't give him a receipt...
Well, sir, let me say it. Sir,
did
you just want to make a lot of noise, or did you hear the article I read? I spent, a couple of minutes reading it.
I did hear the thing, and you know what? Sometimes I got to respect your honesty, but sometimes you just only cover half of the issue. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to inform you a little bit. If they didn't give him a receipt, it's obvious that they wanted him to go through and he had to answer to somebody because there was drug money.
Sir, let me say it to you again. There were no drugs found. They didn't even arrest him, okay, but they kept the money. Let me say it again. They kept the money. When the officer, he asked them for a receipt, they handed him a receipt for an undetermined amount of U.S. currency, not even an amount of money. It took him 2 years to go to court and get his money back.
Neil.
There were no drugs, there was no arrest, and there was no conviction.
Neil,
and you can keep saying Neil 50,000 times. This goes on all the time.
Neil, you're an intelligent guy. First of all, do you think it's impossible for him to carry $9,000 worth of narcotics on him? Number two,
it was impossible for what?
Him to carry $9,000 worth of narcotics.
So where was it?
Neil, that isn't the way they transport money.
Where was the narcotics, sir? Where was the narcotics?
He either delivered it or he was on his way to pick it up.
Oh, so in other words, we have psychic DEA people now. We know this for a fact. That if I get on a plane and I'm flying home from...
You didn't hear the click?
No, I didn't, because I was talking too loud, thank God. He hung up because he's got no balls, and he's another one of those lying pieces of crap turd. Porkers is what he is. Another porker who will defend anything that the law enforcement people do in this country. And that was only one page I read out of this book. There are hundreds of pages telling you about similar stories and worse. Oh, but we just made it up. You're a bright guy, but you're only telling half of the story. I'm telling you the whole goddamn story, sir. The DEA ought to be disbanded today. They ought to disband the whole goddamn DEA because all this is a big, gigantic waste of taxpayer time and money. And they use the news media. Oh, we made this big bust today, and we did. Yeah, whoopee-doo. You're really doing a hell of a job. Hassling the hell out of people, and especially minorities, because we know that any minority member who's got a lot of cash on him, he is a drug dealer. Don't ask any questions. Don't give him a receipt. Just bust his ass, bust his chops, hassle the hell out of him, just like blacks and Hispanics driving through Volusia County, which we know there's no rednecks, no bigots up there, just like that guy over there in Fort Myers. And the Colombians are the worst. How in God's name can anybody get on the air, can go anywhere and make statements like that? The fill in the blank, are the biggest scumbags, the worst bunch of dreck, the worst, whatever. So thank God we don't live in the Deep South with a bunch of bigots. 4 minutes till noon. Listen to anything I said and was so cowardly that he just hung up and disappeared. Again, this is from the book Lost Rights, James Bovard, The Destruction of American Liberty, which you all damn well ought to be reading. Once upon a time, pal, we all have to goose step and see it your way because you want us to live in a goddamn police state, and some of us just aren't going to be quite obedient enough to satisfy you. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Monday I was listening to you talk about a book, something about God, and you said you can't find it. I went out on the web, I couldn't find it. Where do you find this book?
A book about God? You mean Farewell to God by Charles Templeton?
Yeah.
Have to buy it from Canada.
They're shopping.
Uh-huh.
Why can't it be like that here?
What is it?
Why can't it be like that here?
Because this is a repressed, constipated country, sir. That's why it can't be like that here, because we got a bunch of sanctimonious hypocrites. That's why.
I'm seeing people smoking pot like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, this is heaven.
Okay, glad you had a good time, sir. We have an open line at Dade, 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Boynton Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you? I'm a young Julio, and very interested in your topic. A couple years ago, I had gone through the DEA system. People, they busted them more. I can't believe your phone lines aren't lit up.
They are now. They are after that asshole call. They all lit up like a Hanukkah bush.
I can't believe that guy. That guy has no clue. He's playing with people's lives, and he's got no proof on nothing. And
I'm sitting here reading to him right from this book, which I'm sure this guy didn't. He researched this book very well. He didn't just make this stuff up. He's got names and dates and the judge's name. And I'm reading to him, and he must have had. He didn't have it on him. He didn't have. We presume that you're guilty because you've got cash. There you go. Can you imagine? I was just saying to George during the break. Can you imagine getting off a plane in Vegas and having a bunch of DEA guys there with dog-sniffing dogs checking to see if you have a lot of cash on you?
Yeah, well, I'm sure Vegas wouldn't have anything to do with that.
They wouldn't put up with that for 5 seconds, man. They'd have those DEA people would be sleeping with the fishes.
They know who they're messing with in Vegas, believe me. But Vegas, Neil, you're wonderful. You have a great show, and I have a different outlook of life because you give me a lot of aspirations, and Neil's got go.
See, the reason it's so great there is because it's not a police state. Do no harm. Let people live, that's all. We have all these self-fulfilling prophecies here in this country. The more drug enforcement organizations we got, the more people, more drug addicts we have to keep them in business. The more things that you make illegal, the more agencies you have to have, the more billions of dollars you got to spend. Instead of taking care of things that really need to be taken care of there, all these billions of dollars were wasted on this horse crap. And we got people starving to death and freezing to death in the wintertime on the streets of this country. And we're spending billions of dollars to fight the wicked weed because these people, like we've said all this last couple of weeks that we've been talking about this, it's a big goddamn bureaucratic nightmare is what it is, and they have to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more money because they have to justify their existence. Drug-sniffing dogs, baby, because you might have a joint on your ass. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Anybody ever have a joint near there? It's 8 minutes past noon at 5. Who turns out to be a wacko and full of crap from some scumbag. And we're just going to come in and seize your property. We're not even going to take the trouble to look and see if it's for real. But we're just going to come in and do whatever the hell we want. And then you can go to court and spend all your hard-earned money and work to get your property back, maybe if you're lucky. And let me say again, only because the Pittsburgh newspaper exposed the fiasco, the scandal, they finally said, okay, well, you can have your property back, but you got to sign off and agree not to ever sue us.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I'm a consummate caller here, calling from Cape Coral. On the morning show from 8 to 10, my host tells me I talk too much and I'm too...
Yeah, good, okay. We don't want chronic callers, okay? He's the consummate. As soon as he said, I'm a consummate caller, little bells and buzzers were going off in my head. We don't do chronic callers over here, okay, sir? Just listen, because you obviously have nothing to say. He's the consummate caller. Chronic is what the word is, sir. Chronic pain in the ass. We don't need you. We don't want you. Go the hell away. Been out of shape. We hurt his feelings.
I feel really, really shitty.
Okay, we apologize, Denise. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I called up about that having money on you.
Yes?
I was at Calder when I had I hit a race for $7,000.
Drug dealer?
No.
Yeah.
And the security guards, you know, they got that 5% guys up there.
Right.
So they took me and this 5% guy down. That's right. They took me into the security office.
And what happened?
What they were trying to do, they were trying to say that this guy signed my tickets for income tax. Don't even know the guy. I had $7,000, $8,000 in my pocket, and I just refused to let him know.
Wait a minute. You mean to say that they paid you in cash?
Well, yeah. You know when you hit a big trifecta.
Yeah, they usually write you a check. They don't give you cash.
No.
Yeah, sure they do.
No.
So what do you want? You were cheating the government, for Christ's sakes. This guy's calling me and complaining. Like the 5%. You got to do that you got to know where to go and who to see, man. Well, Fat Rich will turn you on to who to see. We have an open line at Dade, 5670560. Now, what he's talking about is that when they take the money off, instead of your 30% or whatever, or 20% that they take off the top of the government. Here's a guy trying to cheat the goddamn government. Trace that call, by the way. Leave the poor old fart alone. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes,
first
sir.
time, long time.
All
I hope
right.
I'm not chronic. Well, you took the words out of my mouth before the break, and that's that caller after the break. But, you know, I'd like to say that, you know, you're right. This is a jackbooted police state.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like you said, these guys are just, you know, they're taking our money, they're taking our property, and people need to protect their assets, you know. I want to know what the book is. I heard Lost Rights, but I didn't get the author.
Jane?
The legislature and in the executive branch, which is a violation of the Constitution, separation of powers. But people don't even realize that because they're not even taught civics in school anymore.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, I love you, buddy.
Okay, pal.
All right.
Have a great day. We have an open line at Dade 1 in If you want to be in America, don't walk around with a lot of cash on you, okay? That's the message. And the darker your complexion is, the less cash you ought to be carrying around. Because we know there's no Schwarzers out there that I have more than like $10. Right? Wouldn't you say that's about right? Let's pick a number. If you're black, in fact, if you're real dark black, and you got more than like $2 $2-3 on it. Well, let's see. Now, how much is it? $5 for the vagrancy law? What's the vagrancy law, George? How little do you have to have on you and they can arrest you for vagrant? $5, I think?
I don't know. Hasn't that changed? I thought it was under 20.
No. Under 20?
$20.
How the hell did I ever make it through those years of KAT? Don't you remember my story about how the day that was on a Sunday and my bank card wasn't working that day? And I was broke? And I wanted to go have lunch over there on the Alton Road. What the hell was the name of that place? Whatever it was. And I had no cash. And I put my card in the machine and it wouldn't work. I thought, geez, I'm going to be fat. It's Yom Kippur today. I didn't even know it. And I'm walking across the street and I look on the by the curb and there's like $6 bills sitting there on the ground. Of course, that's back in 76, so $6.76 bought me a nice meal and a big banana split. Yeah. And I said, all right. There you go. It's America. They paved the streets with money. We have an open line at Dade 1.
Decriminalize pot in Florida.
QAM.
Neil Rogers is my lover.
So you're completely rooted in science with no beliefs outside of what you can see with your own two eyes. Well then, chances are that the Old Testament didn't do it for you, and neither did the new one. So in the Lord's final attempt to bring your sorry ass around, check out the latest book from God entitled Screw You Too, You Ungrateful Little Bastard. Start off in chapter 1 with, who do you think caused the flood that wiped out your house last week? Then move on to such later chapters as Step Outside, I Dare You, and Drop to Your Knees and Pray or Those Hemorrhoids Won't Ever Go Away. It's Screw You Too, You Ungrateful Little Bastard, the latest release from God. It's better than the Book of Mormon, better than the Torah and the Bible combined. Buy yours today.
You're a bastard.
Okay, 1244 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday to you from all your good friends here at All Spots Radio, 560 QAM. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Fort Lauderdale.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. I just want to let you know I love your show. Watch you all the time on TV.
Yeah.
yesterday you had the best show you've ever had in a long time.
Tomorrow we're just going to come in and read that damn book on
I was going to ask you if you could just go ahead and read that book the rest of the time.
Yeah, I think, I'm psychic. I'm a step ahead of you, man. Tomorrow I'm just going to come in. I mean, why the hell should I waste my time screaming and begging? These people got nothing to say about anything. I come in here yesterday. They ought to be lined up at every bookstore in this town, knocking the doors down, trying to buy that book and find out what the hell's really going on in this country and what's really being done to them, and they don't give a crap.
Yeah, I think it was really good, and I'd like to hear some more of it. And you've been going on about the hockey. Wayne sucks. You know, the hockey sucks. Not the hockey, but...
Anything he touches sucks.
Yeah, you know.
He's got the Midas touch in reverse.
I mean, I'm sure if you didn't get tickets for free, you wouldn't even buy them to go there.
I wouldn't. You're right. I would not.
You know, but I just want to let you know I loved that yesterday, and I'm going to buy my wife that book, and I wish you'd read some more callers.
All right. Have a great day.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have an open line in Brown that's starting next week. They ought to because the NBA ain't playing anyway. They're out of business. And the NFL is very, very boring. I mean, just no scoring. It's boring. And the hockey is becoming that way, too, even with the rules changes and the 2 more feet behind the net and the goal crease is smaller. They still can't stick it in there. It's pretty ponderous, most of the games. So I think that other than hockey, we'll let hockey go for a couple of more years just for my own selfish. But other than that, let's just get rid of it all, okay? And then we can start talking about stuff that really matters, like sex. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we have an open line in Broward, 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a lady in North Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a tough act to follow.
Well, he couldn't even get a good greps out. That was pretty bad. Must have been in the middle of lunch.
Maybe. I went to the arena Friday.
Yes.
Because my husband wanted to see Messias score his 600th goal.
Well, he got his wish.
That's right, but you were right about
excited. That's right. When there's something to get excited about, they got excited. That was me. And if I'm the most exciting thing in a place at a hockey game, you know the game is terminal.
We're in big trouble.
Right.
And that's about it. Have a good afternoon.
And back to you.
Bye-bye. Okay,
we have an open line in Dade. Come on. Do these people understand about Whitney being on that fourth line?
No.
Do they know Peter Worrell from Peter Graves?
No.
But hey, they're into it. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
This is the guy. Remember a couple of weeks ago I called the Little Caesars and Steve's Pizza ordeal?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, you're at Terminal.
Remember that?
Yeah, you were bellyaching about a bunch of crap. Yes, of course I remember.
I wanted to make sure you know who I was.
Yeah.
Neil, how come...
Terrible call, the worst.
Neil, how come when at Connie's wedding, how come when Luca Brasi was outside waiting to see the Don, and when Tom Hagen told the Don Luke wanted to see him?
I don't know. Go ask the people at Pizza Hut, okay? Get out of here. That's the guy. Don't you remember this guy? He was calling about Steve's Pizza. They didn't have the slices, and then he got in the car and he went over to Pizza Hut. And they didn't have the
made
straws.
Up story because they don't sell slices
yeah, this
at Little
guy,
Caesars.
phony, baloney, bunch of crap. You're terrible, pal. Listen, we're going to give you Andy's home phone number and Mitch too. And no, seriously, and also Greg and wherever you, Port St. Lucie. And the four of you can sit around and diddle with each other, okay? We're not that desperate. If I have no calls, which plenty of time today that's been the case, I'd rather talk to myself. I'd rather pop a bone and pop a stroke right here on the air and talk to myself than talk to people who have no material whatsoever. You're about as funny as a heart attack, okay? Get out of here. Go see the people at Steve's Pizza. I understand they got a special slice waiting for you, okay, pal? Speaking of Luca Brasi, they got a special slice. I think it's one of those goddamn chopping knives that old Jewish guy sells on those infomercials. One of those real sharp ones. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Okay.
I just wanted to call you to let you know that tomorrow night I'm going for my first Panther ever. I like that place, so I don't know what to expect tomorrow night.
Sir, can I ask you a question? With all due respect, why is it that granted, there were a lot of problems, and I helped to get some of them straightened out, and I understand when people pay a lot of money, they want to see the game in comfort, including me. But why is it that everybody and their brother, all they want to talk about is the arena? They don't seem to have any knowledge of or interest in the team hockey fan in this town. You're right.
Even though you still go with another jersey, but still you're a hockey fan. It doesn't matter.
Well, 40 years, I'm not going to give up the Maple Leafs and be some phony. Panthers are my number 2 team, and I root for the Panthers every game except when they're playing Toronto. I'm not going to be a phony about it. All these people who show up in those seats, wouldn't you think just by accident by now, by osmosis, they would have learned something? They would have had an opinion about something other than just Debbie on a mobile and Lou and wherever the hell Lou is, then 2 or 3 people? Where the hell are these people?
They're out there.
They're out there doing what?
I don't know.
Each other. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow night, pal. just by accident. And I'm tired of hearing about, well, hockey's a marginal sport. The rationale is that. Because there's more people that like football, that makes it a more exciting or a better sport than hockey. There's more people that watch soccer than any of them. More people watch auto racing. Right, Joe? Right, Joe?
Yeah.
Would you like to have like a fly on the wall over there?
I know exactly what he's doing.
See why? Yeah, this, no doubt.
He's making time with Darlene Evans next door.
Oh, excuse us.
That's a lie. It's Chris Reed.
Oh, you're making time with Chris Reed?
And Zoltan's wife.
Oh, wow. Chris Reed, Joe, and Zoltan's wife. All right. Oh! They're doing it. We have an open line at Dave. You're getting more response than we're getting here, I'll tell you that. 567-0560 and pound 560 on the mobile line. Let's hear from some Colombian hockey fans. That's what we want. Huh? If I can get one Colombian hockey fan, I'm talking a real one, who called in this show today by 2 o'clock, I'm going to leave here with a feeling of tremendous, enormous accomplishment. In spite of the frustration of talking to a bunch of deadheads. I'll leave it what?
Don't forget David.
David's a Colombian. He plays with it? Yeah. I'm sure of that. You play hockey? And?
I play center.
Yeah, I've heard. Anyway, we have 2 open lines, one in Dade, one in Hoover. It is 567. There's a Colombian hockey. All I do was ask. Like I said, now I feel I've accomplished something big. Oh! No, not that big, David. Something really big, yeah. Something gigantic, something huge, something circumcised. That's right. David is Colombian from the waist up, Jewish from the waist down.
Oi!
What a waste. Okay, so here's a Colombian. How do you like that? See, you have little faith in there. You think I picked something really ridiculous that I could never find, and right away he's right in the goddamn doorway. Just like an answer from heaven.
Oh, God.
From him, too. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello? Let me say it again. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay.
I enjoy your show, man.
Yeah.
But I'll see you at the game tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm glad you talk about it.
Okay.
I'm the only African man that loves hockey in this town.
All right. Well, we'll put you out there with Peter Worrell. See, 2 out of 3.
As a matter of fact, last time I was very behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Whatever he says. Here's a lady in Plantation. Hello.
Neil?
Oh, no, that must be the guy that told me about my license plate. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Neil, I want to call to thank you for placing that propeller on your head last night.
Yeah.
You're really a good sport.
Well, what about the chicken on my head? Forget about the propeller.
I didn't see that. They must have edited that out.
No, they didn't. They had me. I was sitting down there with a chicken on my head almost the whole show.
I missed that
You
part.
missed the chicken on my head?
Larry King Live again. Okay. Listen, Neil.
Larry King Live? He's on at 10:30?
I know. I was kidding. Neil, I wanted to say something about sports.
Yeah.
I grew up...
Sports?
Yeah, sports. Anyway, please don't make me any more nervous than I am.
Okay.
But, maybe the world's just changing too fast, but it just doesn't have the same feeling because you don't know the players.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's baseball or hockey or basketball.
And the announcers are all generic. They all suck.
Exactly. And you just don't have that same feeling where you knew the players, you knew the lineup, you don't know anything. Even watching... That's
why everything now is prefabricated with all the phony piped-in noise and music and excitement and trying to get everybody all drummed up to say, hey, this was really worth all that money I just wasted.
Exactly.
And all these guys making... Mike Piazza getting paid $91 million is so obscene.
Yes.
$13 million a year to play baseball.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I enjoy sports.
And by the way, I hate to interrupt you, but realize the whole payroll, Mike Piazza is going to make per year, starting next year, more than the entire Marlins payroll was last year, more than the entire Montreal Expos payroll. One guy.
Let me ask you something.
Yes. Left Los Angeles with a sour look on his puss when he stopped over here for 2 weeks before we got rid of him, who said, oh, gee, I thought I was going to be here for the rest of my life in Dodger Blue. And they offered him $84 million for whatever, and that wasn't enough for him. And he's screaming about loyalty. They weren't loyal to him.
It can only come
down. I hope
he
breaks a leg on opening day, and I hope he comes back at midseason and hits 220.
You're right. And people are going to get turned off. They are. And the sponsors are not going to be paying the NBC and Fox and everybody else all this money.
I hope they all lose their ass.
And they got to come down. They can't go any higher. But anyway, I'll even be a book called Pros and Cons.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just...
We're too busy, giving billionaires our money to watch ball games.
Exactly.
Have a great day, sweetheart.
And I'm going to go get some tapes and send them to my friends out west for Hanukkah and Christmas night.
Okay, we want to hear from somebody from Honduras who got out in time. Well, it's not a very good place to be right now, would you think, to be in Honduras? Or to be in the Yucatan Peninsula? The Lord has pushed that beanie right off the back of my head. Wow. Lorenzo's for over 47 years. I mean, if that's the best that they can do, they should forget about trying to do football again. There were two guys that they ever had in the first place, was Pat and John Madden. Some are all on Madden, and now they're on Fox anyway. So now CBS has got the games back. They just can't do it professionally. And then we got Terry Bradshaw, who doesn't... All he's got to do is come on a screen, and you say to yourself, wow, what an asshole. He doesn't have to do anything or say anything. And now, of course, he's going really to great lengths to make sure that you say...
He's an asshole.
Oh, yeah. Terry Bradshaw. He was dumb when he played the game, and now he's an announcer. He's a broadcaster. Oh, please. It's almost enough to make me want to bring O.J. back on NBC. At least and of course, they don't even have the goddamn game, so bring him back. Stick his ass on there. On the chair, that is. There you go. Here's a mobile in Miramar. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, Neil?
Great.
Okay, I'm a Colombian hockey fan.
All right.
Oh! Okay, now also better.
All right.
All right?
Okay, Leo.
Hey, can I tell somebody douchebag?
Go ahead.
Air around the clock. You guys are douchebags.
Okay. Oh, boy. Hey, by the way, I got a message on my machine, speaking of Air Around the Clock, one of Joe Rose's fine sponsors, by the way, whom we love. Are those the guys that came and did my AC?
No.
So why did I get a call from them? They don't do my AC. There was a message on my machine yesterday saying we want to come and check it out. I don't want anybody checking it out because the other people, whoever they were, Adam's account, if we ever see Adam again, they were making me a custom filter. Telling me that the other one was, it collects mold and best, and they were going to do a whole big song and dance. And did I ever see them again?
No.
Did I hear from them again?
No.
Does anybody have any idea who they are or where they are?
No.
Oh, okay. That Adam, what did I tell you about him? Nice guy, but boy, he finds, you know what I mean? 9 minutes after, I was sitting upstairs saying, I want you to think about that very seriously. Here, your life is in this man's hands. He's your lawyer. He's your agent. You're having what is a very crucial meeting based on a lot of discontent and a lot of crap. And you're making I'm making a lot of progress, and we seem to be arriving at a meeting of the minds. And this man is sitting there, an impediment to my life, saying things that on the face of the statements are so idiotic, so childish, so embarrassing. I can just hear Hank. The hurricane is just about to hit the building, and Hank says, there's a high fly ball to right field, and the wind has got a hold of it. Oh, it just came through the window. Like Rosie Rosewell. Open the window, Aunt Minnie. Here it comes. Oh! Just remember one thing. If I never leave one other thing in your brain, folks, Norma can't. You fill in the blank. Whatever the question is, Norma can't. 10 minutes after...
Jeb Bush. Come and listen to my story about a man named Jeb, whose wallet was as big as his pasty swelled up head. He became a governor and dictator too, simply by having more money than you. Billionaire, that is. Dirty Deal's ex-presidential dad. In a real gubernatorial race, the other goober's name was Buddy McKay. Had an ill-fitting suit and a skeletal head, and when they took his pulse, they discovered he was dead. Brain dead, that is. No brains, a backwoods rube. Now, Jeb represents the Christian Reich, but somehow got support from the Jewish journal kikes. Now they're all in a mass grave, buried very deep, and his wife wears a necklace of the fillings from their teeth. Oi! Jewish gold. Melted down, of course.
The Tallahassee Millionaires. Starring Heinrich Himmler as Jeb Bush. Ava Braun as Columba.
All right.
Ariana Huffington as Granny. And Dan Burton as General Burkhalter. The Tallahassee Millionaires, brought to you by Zygon 8.
I have in my hand right now One of the most embarrassing things in the history of the human goddamn race. No, not that. That's pretty embarrassing. But this even more embarrassing, Rob Kaplan from our Whammy crew, where we can't get the sound up there loud enough for anybody to hear it on that show, by the way, and then they can't figure out how come nobody is watching. Sabotage keeps coming to mind. Just like every time I think of Whammy, the word sabotage comes to mind. Every time I see John Glenn, I think, like that comes to my mind. Yeah, every time I see him lately, which is too much. He's old enough. Rob Kaplan finds this sitting in the outer room here. We have, for those of you, we're sitting in basically a big broom closet here with very paper-thin walls, and there's another broom closet out here on the second floor, waiting for us to move upstairs someday to Real Studios. So the Whammy people have set up all their stuff out here for another few days anyway, and they're out there in the hallway. So somebody, I don't want to mention Norma Kent, whom I just talk about psychic. Am I on top of it or what? Leaves all the notes from our meeting with Greg Reed on Friday, and pasted to his note, to his bunch of notes, is this Post-it that you gave me with the number of our buddy up there at the Satellite Comedy Network who wants to talk to him about syndicating the Neil Rogers show and getting us on in some other markets beside this godforsaken place. And here's the phone name and phone number. Sitting out there on a desk, on a piece of a crap out there. And I'm sitting wondering, how come I never got any response from Norma Kent on this? Because this thing is sitting out there on a goddamn thing somewhere out there. There you go. Syndicate this. Is there anybody out there? I need a lawyer. I need an agent. Is there anybody out there who knows anything? I'm calling, just like Lee Harvey Oswald, I'm asking for someone to come forward for some assistance, okay? Oh, my God. I want to take back a lot of what I said about marijuana the last couple of weeks, because there's a walking example of what too much bad weed can do to your mind, is Norma Kent, right there. He's a walking ad for life penalties for weed. South Miami, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing? I called, I heard your earlier today complaining about Channel 69 sound, and I've heard the same thing on the 1030 show.
Well, how can you not hear it? It's on every night. I can't hear the damn show.
I can't hear it at all. I called over there a little while ago, and I talked to Ben in audio, and he said he was
he's
a little bit upset about it. He just says, it'll be all right from now on. And I said, okay.
What do you mean he's upset about it? It's been going on night after night. I'm screaming on the air, hear about it. They know all about it. The people over here know about it. What do you mean it's going to be all right from now on? Are we supposed to believe that?
No.
Huh?
I don't know. He said it's going to be fine from now on, but I said, okay. Thank you. And I figured I'd call you and tell you about it.
From now on what? Meaning another week and before the show goes off? That's good.
Has we got one more week? Is that it, Neil?
Yeah, another week and a half, something like that.
Jeez. Well, maybe you can get syndicated somewhere else.
You mean like on a real TV station?
On a real TV station.
That would be good. Okay, thanks for the effort, pal. I appreciate it.
Bye.
There's a guy that cares enough. See, if we had an audience out there that was watching that TV show that cared about having that thing on there, they would have inundated them. They would have flooded them with calls over there saying, what are you doing to our guy over there? What are you doing to old
Neil, God?
Right. But nobody gives a crap like everything else in this town, so it just, like I said before in the show, everything just kind of fumbles its way along and quit making so much trouble. Okay, sorry. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, I found something amusing in the Sun Sentinel today. You got it handy?
I have it in my hand.
Go to 5C in the
like
sports
I said, I
section.
have it in the wastebasket. Okay.
Upper right-hand corner. Take a close look at that photograph.
Okay, wait a minute. 5C on the Sun Sentinel. I got the Herald for one moment. Okay, let me keep this. Go ahead. Oh, this is one on visual. I got to see it.
Yep. A little morphine action going on there.
Okay, wait, I'll kill that music. Okay, 5C.
Upper right-hand corner.
In the upper right-hand corner, improve your sex life?
Yep. Look in his lap.
Oh, my God. Look at that. She's got her hand on his... Wow.
And she's got two hands.
She's got two hands. They must be going to Burger King. Holy crap, she must be in search of the Whopper. Look at that. Jesus, thank you so much, pal.
No problem.
And have a great day. Well, what is that? No, I'm losing my mind now. This is something you have to look at.
Crowder going there?
Huh? It looks like he's got the whole apparatus out, if you know what I'm saying. Balls and all. And man, oh man, talk about improve your sex life. Woo! That is just gigantic. she's got both hands, and then there's another hand coming in from the side, just to make sure that everybody's got a good grip. How do you like that? Page 5C in your son. Sir, thank you so much. You've done a great public service. And these people are talking about pornography? How do you like that? Hypocritical assholes. The evils of casino gambling. And they're putting pornographic pictures and ads in their goddamn newspaper. And the morning line on goddamn high school volleyball games. That Norma Kant business, that thing that I just deposited in the wastebasket along with the rest of the newspaper, that's unconscionable. Lapses of memory, too many drugs, lapses of memory, like who am I? Like what's his name? James Stockdale. Who am I and what am I running with this little midget for? Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was the one yesterday who told you about your tag.
Oh, thank you. So
County Line Road.
That was an imitation guy.
441.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, because
see,
I
the
know the cops, they will mess with you for that.
They would. See, that's a lease car, and for some reason, not driving that one today till I get that tag replaced. I'm driving a gray one.
Right.
Thanks to you. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
And the check is in the mail.
Okay.
Thanks. See, that was pretty damn nice, okay? And he's looking at me, and he's yelling, and I thought, well, here's a guy who's a listener anyway. Either that or he's going to mug me, one or the other. And I rolled down the window and said, hey, Neil, so he knew who I was. Your damn tag says September or whatever. There's a good guy right there. There's a few of them out there. Not too many, but we got a couple of good people in this town. Me and that guy, that's about it. Candidate, I had an affair-fathered son, says this candidate in Jacksonville, Republican congressional candidate Bill Randall, who was seeking to unseat an incumbent Democrat by running a campaign based on ethics and family values. How do you like that? Said Wednesday that he fathered a son while separated from his wife. I'm bringing forward this information. I wish to stress that this private family matter has no place in a political campaign, said Randall, whose 18-year-old son, Nicholas Omar Randall, lives in Atlanta. I've always acknowledged my son, and I'm listed on the birth certificate as the father, said Randall, 53, who said he has paid child support. After initially refusing child support, his mother first asked for financial help in 1992. Randall said at a news conference in which he was joined by his wife, Mary, daughter, Sheila, and 2 grandchildren. The affair, first reported Sunday in the News Journal of Daytona Beach, took place in 1980 while he was separated, but he's running on family and ethical values. Another good right-wing asshole, hypocritical, sanctimonious piece of crap. What do you think of that guy?
He's an asshole.
All right. Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, Neil?
How you doing? All right.
Hey, got a spy report for you. I just passed by Hialeah, Miami Lakes, and saw 3 school buses, and yes, 2 black women and 1 Julio-looking.
All right.
There you go. Hey, I'm going to.
That was the Julio male or female?
I'm sorry?
Julio was a female?
No, that was a male.
A male.
Yes, sir.
You sure?
No, not
from Brazil,
but kind of going by a little too quick for that.
Okay.
I'm going to the game tomorrow, doing as well as they are.
Yzerman,
excuse me. I'm really excited about going to the game because I haven't been to the new arena yet.
I'll see you in the food court. Yes, sir?
All right, Sergio, you're a taco-bending, coconut-eating douchebag.
Okay, pal, see you tomorrow. Okay. Well, I'll hang out there in the food court, okay? And we'll sit there and we'll hold court and bellyache and bitch about this and scream about that. We'll hang Terry Murray in effigy. We'll have little voodoo dolls. We have an open line in effigy. How about like they got those big high ceilings in there out in the hallway? Yeah, I got news for you, Terry Murray. This ain't Washington, okay? This ain't Philadelphia. Well, maybe it is Philadelphia. You didn't last there too long. Benching the best players on the team and then bringing Ray Whitney back and sticking him on the goddamn 4th line. Oh, my God. Just absolutely unbelievable. We don't know where our next goal is coming from on this team. About the only thing that this organization does know is...
A lot of spooks in New Jersey.
That's about the limit of our understanding.
2 a.m.
This is the most disgusting program. I urge everyone to complain to this station.
Boy, Dick.
Hey, buckaroos, there's nothing like a little Cowboy Dick ice cream.
I want something. I've got a craving.
Yeah, well, how about some Cowboy Dick?
Sure.
All the cowgirls love my Cowboy Dick. And I should know, because I'm Cowboy Dick.
I like my Cowboy Dick with some nuts.
No problem, partner. Introducing Cowboy Dick with nuts so big you can hardly wrap your lips around them.
My youngins love Cowboy Dick.
Ma'am, fill your posse with my Cowboy Dick.
Oh, Cowboy Dick.
Here, try it. How is it?
I can't talk. My mouth is full of Cowboy Dick.
She's smiling. She's smiling. Fill your mouth with my Cowboy Dick. Available in your grocer's freezer. Ooh, once you've had your first Cowboy Dick, you won't ever go back. When you're filled with Cowboy Dick, you'll scream, wee, yahoo!
Speaking of cowboys and the ranch and the ambiance of that whole thing, you know what that really is, don't you?
That's a gay club, you moron.
We have an open line at Dade 1 in Broward. Stop and think about it. 567-0560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. They all take showers together, too, just like football players and other athletes. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Next time the old little guy calls, the bus driver counter,
yeah,
I've got a couple new categories for him to start counting.
Okay.
Jamaicans driving 15-year-old Corollas.
Yeah, man.
Brown in color.
Right. Little brown coupes.
19-year-old Julios driving Trans Ams.
Uh-huh. Or Daddy's Corvette.
And how about Jews refusing to tip more than 10% at Wolfie's?
And French Canadians at anywhere. Okay. God bless you, sir. Whatever you said. We have an open line at Broward, 2 and Dade, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. This has been a show of fits and starts today. I've been having the fits, and they've been, they're kind of here, they're gone, they're not too sure. They're undecided. Well, we got a half hour to go. Hank will be along at 2 o'clock from the Sporting Brews. And then we got the Bookster from 6 to 10 tonight. And then we got Eddie Kaplan with our gambling show at 10 o'clock tonight. And then we come back tomorrow and start all over again on the worst team. With Geldy. Oh, that's right. And, of course, tomorrow is game day, so Geldy will be really sucking heavy duty, making all kinds of excuses for the organization. Little Quisling Suckhole, man. Every time I think of him. I see John Glenn, and I hear, that sound goes off in my head. And I hear Geldy's voice, and I think, Little Quisling Suckhole, who happens to be on the payroll. We understand. We understand you have no credibility, so why not dummy up? In fact, let me stop and point this out to you, okay? Geldy is on Wayne's payroll, and Wayne owns the Panthers, the Marlins, and the Dolphins. So I think the only sport in town that Geldy should be allowed to talk about, since he might have some credibility, he's not on the payroll, is the Heat. Right? And since the Heat aren't playing now, neither is anybody else in the NBA, what can Geldy say? Is there anything he can say?
No.
There you go. I got to solve that problem. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was kind of bored Saturday and was watching that Hurricane game. And, I would have liked them to pull it. I'm glad they pulled it out, but...
You'd like them to pull it?
And it out, too.
Yeah.
The Hurricane f***ing blow! And they do, but Dave Lamont...
Did you hear it?
Oh, let me tell you, I ordered a pizza at like 7 o'clock, and I figured, okay, let me go pick it up 7:15. I'm getting my car.
Right.
It's like a minute 30 to go. The whole thing goes down. First of all, whoever says they're going to get the PAT, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then they're 5-2 in the conference. They're 2-2 against the girls' teams. Man, I know he used to fart a lot when he was up there with
Yes, he did a lot.
Man.
I thought he got it out of his system, but evidently not.
They need to bring back Sonny Hirsch or whoever. I got Sonny Fox spy report.
Yeah.
I went to this haunted house.
Yeah.
I like to listen to Neil Rogers because he says the word asshole. He was handing out little stickers for Kiss at a haunted house Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, that's the best they could do on a Saturday night.
Hi, this is Sonny Fox, and I listen to Neil Rogers because I can hear the word asshole.
Hey, listen, that's good to hear that they're keeping him busy anyway. You know what I'm saying, Sonny? There you go. They got enough other problems over there on that on their FMs, huh? Yeah, that's right. Us AM people here in this Beasley Greed organization, we'll show them what a bunch of upstanding people we are, as opposed to some problems they got over there on the FMs. Oh, boy. Woo! I don't want to say power in particular, but I'll say it anyway. We have an open line. I Squeak straightened it out. She never did Kid Curry. They had like one of those agreements. Here's a mobilize. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
We have an arrangement. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
First a comment and then a spy report.
Yeah.
You guys are talking about sportscasters. I think Dave O'Brien is great.
He's good. He's very good. I wouldn't say great, but he's very good. He's no.
I like it. With him and Mandich are definitely the best two here locally. I'm not too fond of Joe Angel, but Dave O'Brien does a great job.
And I'm not too fond of Bill Generic Zimfer. It does the Dolphin games.
Me either.
You know,
But anyway, I was at the game the game against Vancouver, and you went into the restrooms about the radio broadcast.
I don't even pay any attention.
Okay, I go into the bathroom. They go to a commercial break.
Yeah.
And during the commercial break, you can hear Goldie and the board op talking back and forth to each other.
Oh, really?
over the commercial, and the board op is asking Goldie, is there a lot of ass in Boston for him to get when he goes up there? And the people in the bathroom are standing there like, what the hell is going on?
Hey, at least it's entertaining, which is better than listening to that moron who's doing the game.
Unbelievable. And in closing?
In fact, you know something? You just gave me an idea. I'm just going to hang out at the tea room tomorrow night.
Good idea.
Listen to all the behind-the-scenes crap instead of hearing that moron.
In closing?
Yes?
You don't come to Florida and talk to a man like Neil Rogers like that.
Moron. Okay, thank you. All right. Oh, gee, all of a sudden this one eye, I got this sharp stinging pain. We have an open line in Dade. Better get my optometrist on the phone. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We love the I keep making the same mistake over and over and over. I can't, it's like the sugar thing. I have two addictions in my life. Sugar is one of them. Hockey is another one. Okay? And I can't get rid of either one. Hockey at least isn't making me sick. Sugar is killing me. Hockey, though, on this show it's killing me because nobody is interested. I'm not saying they're not interested. They just don't know anything about it. And they sure as hell aren't going to discuss it with me because it's not like some of the other shows on this station where they call up and they start mispronouncing names like that guy that was talking about Stevie Weiserman, whatever he called him. Stevie Weiserman. Too bad Stevie's too small to ever be a great player. Right, Brian? See, they don't like small guys on this team. Doug McClain didn't like small guys. Brian Murray doesn't like small guys. And come to find out, Terry Murray don't like small guys, even if they're a hell of a player. They're size queens. I told you that before, and I'll tell you that again. We got a bunch of size queens on this management, on the organization. They just don't measure up to their standards. And from what I hear about Brian, by the way, I heard just about like a butterfly he's on. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just heard a commercial on your station within the last hour about that former actor, Charlton Heston.
Yes.
And it's concerning the constitutional revision number 12.
Yeah.
He stated that that would prohibit people from being charged with crimes and serving time and so forth. There's nothing in that reading. It's one paragraph that says anything about those things. He's trying to scare the voters.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You son of a bitch.
It simply gives the counties the authority.
I think he's still suffering from that God complex, you know?
Evidently. But for your listeners, those that don't know the difference, I don't know why he thinks no one's going to read this, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is probably the case.
Well, he thinks because he's God and Moses and Jesus and Abraham and all those other roles that he played 100 years ago when he was under the age of 100, he thinks that people will pay attention to him.
Well, I don't think. I think it's going to pass. Thank you, Neil.
Okay. God bless you, sir. Don't forget.
You son of a bitch.
We have an open line at Broward, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Hey, we don't care. We just want the money. We don't care if we got fascists putting stuff on the air here. I'm starting to get in with the swing of it here, okay? I'm not fighting them anymore. Just give me my goddamn bonus check sometime very soon. How's your bonus check coming, by the way? This man sat up there with a straight face on Friday and said they were taking all three bonuses from the winter, the spring, and the summer book, and you were getting them all together on one big fat check, is what he said to me.
Did he say when?
He said something about big and fat. Maybe he was talking about Norm. No, he didn't say when. He said it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Oh, there he is again. Every time he comes down here. We've had 3 hours and 40 minutes of show today. Never once mentioned this topic. And wouldn't you know, see, there's my psychic vibrations again. Just like I conjured up David in the hallway. I was talking about Colombian hockey fans. Here's David in the hallway. All of a sudden appears like an apparition. I'm talking about George's bonus. Greg Reed shows up holding up the door frame there. Give us a date. Sometime between now and when?
Let's see. When's the next payroll?
The next payroll is November.
No, next one. It won't be time to get in the next payroll. We'll enter that.
There won't be time to get in the next payroll is November 10th. Oh, that's right. The 5th for him. Oh, that's too soon.
So the 20th.
The 20th? Okay, everybody in the audience, mark this down, okay? Mark it down right now. Greg Reed says November 20th in that paycheck, George will get his 3 bonuses from the summer, the winter, the whatever they are. Princess, summer, fall, winter, spring, whatever the hell, however it goes. Just remember, you heard it here. Does anybody believe it?
No.
But it sounded good. Does George believe it?
No.
Okay. In fact, when that happens, we're going to have such a party on the day that you actually tell me that your bonuses are in that. Too. We're going to have a goddamn party like you wouldn't believe. A drunken brawl right on the air is what we're going to do. In fact, we're going to do it right down the hall here. Then they can send us all into rehab. 22 a.m.
Son of a bitch.
While spending the remaining spend on is your car. With Jew canoe theft on the rise, the people who brought you a big black guy named Ben car alarm now bring you an old Jewish guy named Eisen.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Remember when we used to boost them back at Caribbean?
Yeah.
We ought to get a bundle for this, baby.
Yeah.
The white ones are cooler.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
What the hell was that?
I object seriously to profanity like that.
Slow down, I think somebody's coming.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF. Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Whenever some bastard tries to steal my car, I feel safer with an old Jewish guy named Eisen.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Get your old Jewish guy named Eisen car alarm now and receive a free flower antenna.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
An old Jewish guy named Eisen car alarm. Now available at all Zayre stores.
You son of a bitch.
Okay, enough. 144 at 560 WQM. So what did I tell you about what a good guy Greg Reed was, huh? No, he's not a bad guy. I've always told you that. It's just that he's in partners with a bunch of slobs over there in Naples. But at any rate, what are you laughing about? It's the truth. If he had his way, if he had free reign on his place, we'd see a lot of things happen. And even in spite of that, we may see some things. That was some good news there, Greg. Nice going, which I can't say on the air. But he's on top of it, baby. I told you that meeting was good if we'd have just gotten Norma Kent out of there, who left his notes. Oh, God almighty. By the way, Ma, it's lunch day at Ma's. I hope she's cooking up a big dinner today because I'm starving mentally and emotionally. Speaking of food, by the way, we'll be at Ben & Jerry's in Aventura this Saturday, noon to 2, and we're going to have all those D&H things that we got. George, we got all... Now, what do we have? I haven't even seen the poster.
Oh, I assume they're the same thing. Let's look at one now.
Yeah, let's take a peek at one. We got, thanks to our friend Jeff. Did he make all the stuff, or did somebody else make some of it? He made buttons and keychains, D&H, do no harm. Neil says this, and Neil says that.
Neil, God!
And we'll have these for you. Even if you don't want to donate, if you don't want to buy any of our stuff, that's okay. But come by and get a D&H sticker or some of those big posters. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love those. They can stick those right on their rectum. Those are huge. How many of those have we got?
A lot.
A lot. Tons of these big, I'm talking about big posters that you can slap right on your goddamn, whatever.
Rectum.
Right. Or maybe just on the, you know how they have those things in front of the churches? Where they announce the, the very, you know what I'm talking about, on the lawn in front of the church? They could slap those right on there, would be lovely. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
This is your 80th Colombian hockey fan.
Yeah.
Neil, what's wrong with that guy calling about Colombians? I heard something about to call back and defend their race, their Colombian race. Colombians not a race, it's a country,
Colombians
idiot.
are a bunch of scumbags is what he said, because he's over there in Fort Myers, and he feels that he's safe over there, that you guys aren't going to come and get him.
That's probably some Colombian girl told him his penis was too small.
Uh-huh.
Well, Neil, hey, your show is great.
Okay, pal.
Hey, Neil, you have some tickets?
Yeah, I got a ticket for you. Slow down.
Bye, Neil.
Okay. Colombians, baby. We got Colombians up the old ass out there. Don't kid yourself. We got Colombians. We got Argentinians. We got Brazilians who are in drag, we think. We're not sure. Cubans. Oh, forget about that. We got more Cubans than you can shake your thing at. They're all out there. They just are intimidated. They're a bunch of pussies because they don't want to come out of the closet. And I can understand that. We understand the cultural barriers in your community, and we understand why you want to remain closeted for the rest of your lives, and I appreciate that. Even though you are spineless cowards and maricones, I appreciate that. With tiny little opingas. Here's a guy, pal. You came to the right place.
I've called the athletic department at UM.
Yes?
Nobody. I don't know who Sonny Hirsch is.
Whatever the question is, if it has to do with UM, here's the answer.
What hurricane blow?
There you go.
What happened to Sonny Hirsch?
What do you mean, what happened to him?
He was the best announcer that I've ever heard from the Hurricanes.
They squeezed him out for this hysterical, screaming maniac, my good friend Dave Lamont, who's a good guy, but definitely in the wrong position. He should never be doing play-by-play, and they squeezed Sonny out after all those years, a good guy. They screwed him over. They lied to him. They wouldn't give him an answer, and then right like about a week before the season started, they said, oh, by the way, don't come in. You're not doing the games anymore. They screwed him over big time.
You know how much radio time they've lost? Because now you want to watch it on TV, and you don't even know the announcers that are giving the game on TV.
There you go. That's That's right. Good point.
Hey.
Can you imagine turning the sound down on TV and listening to Dave Lamont break the speaker on your radio?
No, I turned Boomer off last night just so I could listen to the other ESPN radio announcers, but I can't imagine doing that for the UM games anymore.
The Boomer, you know something? The Boomer is killing them, you know? He just never...
Yeah, he comes up with a couple good things once in a while, but then he goes on and on and he buries himself and doesn't even know he's doing it.
He's killing that thing. They need to dig up old Howard Cosell and Dandy Don, boy. Bring back those days.
Cosell?
And bring back those teams, too.
That mate. Anyway, can I call somebody a douchebag?
Go ahead.
Anthony Del Pozo and your brother Tommy are both douchebags.
And your mama, too. Okay, have a great day. And by the way, you know, I think Bob Eisenberg is wearing Howard Cosell's hairpiece, the one he used to have. They used to, like, keep flopping off in the breeze all the time. People can say whatever they want about Howard Cosell. I got the book right back here, baby. Here you go. And it's very self-serving, and it's, you know, a very pompous ass he was. And my good friend Dave Johnson, a great race caller, Dave, can rip Howard all he wants. But the fact is, in many ways, he did tell it like it was. He stole a lot of stuff from other people. But at least in the book, he admits that he liked the jockocracy. He didn't invent that. I think Shirley Povich, the sports writer, invented that, who just croaked. Didn't he just croak? Shirley, never trust a guy named Shirley. He was great. But at any rate, Howard Cosell, I never played the game. What a boy! If you just eliminate in your mind all the self-serving stuff about how great Monday Night Football was when he was on it, and all the other pompous, egotistical stuff, but all the stuff that he tells you about the ins and outs and the screwing over the fans and the team owners and all of this good stuff, and about the inarticulate ex-jocks up there in the booth who've taken it all over, which he's right. Like I said before, you've got generic guys. I mean, Joe Buck is good. I'll give him that. Joe Buck is very good on Fox. Excellent. But other than Joe Buck, who the hell have you got? In any of the sports, you got Pat and John on Pat Summerall and John Madden on Fox on football, who are still the best. I don't care what anybody says, even though Pat's 110 years old. And who else you got? You got a few great hockey announcers, but obviously there's no interest in hockey, so why even talk about that? Can we hear some Mike Lang? No. Love Mike Lang, but you're not going to hear him. See, that's another thing. What are these people thinking about? In the middle of a show where we're solving the problems of mankind, and some jackass calls me, hey, can we hear some Mike Lang? Of course not. Of course not. I watched Mike Lang last night. I suffered through the damn Leafs getting shut out by Pittsburgh. Mike Lang is great. Although I'll tell you right now, the greatest hockey announcer in North America right now may surprise you, maybe not. Joe Bowen. Oh! There you go. That's right. Toronto Maple Leafs.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Goss.
You're the best, Joe. Make no mistake about it. Some other guys, you know, they move around a little bit. You have to reassess. But the other sports, they're a bunch of crap. And if anybody's going to tell me a song and dance about Bob Costas, oh, Jesus! What a smarmy little arrogant twerp he is, okay? Another guy, he was okay when he was doing his little commentary and he was doing the pregame shows, but to be doing play-by-play, give me a fucking break. That's right. Bob Costas, little ass-sucking twerp. He's like one step away from Geldy. In fact, you know something? Next time I see Bob Costas, Geldy, and John Glenn together, I'm going to think, that's the only thing I'm going to have to think of. It's a catch-all. Thursday, coming to a Cape near you. That's terrible. Is that bad? Is that as tasteless as the good? John Glenn is just, he's got to go. You know, it's his time has come. And see you, John, you stale old fart. Right-wing, Democrat from Ohio. What? What is it? With Alzheimer's. If you're shopping...
QAM. Ray Whitney has a pair.
Hello, it's me, Cox Norty.
I don't want to step on that. Okay, 157 at 560 WQM. Here's a lady in Kendall. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever do interviews, celebrity interviews?
No.
Well, I have a suggestion. I think you should do a celebrity interview.
With?
Mickey Rourke.
Why is that?
Well, I think he's a great guy. He's a terrific actor.
What would I talk to Mickey Rourke about? I'd rather talk to Mickey Rooney.
Well, you know, he hasn't had any movies out lately.
So why would I want to talk to him?
Well, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a local hero.
He's a local yokel hero?
Yeah.
I'd rather talk to Stevie Bauer. At least he's my buddy.
People don't even know who he is.
They don't know. Que pasa, USA? You're knocking Stevie Bauer, Rocky Echevarria?
Mickey Rourke is a national hero.
You're going to burn on the lake of fire for knocking Stephen Bauer.
Did you ever see The Pope of Greenwich Village?
Did you ever see A Thief of Hearts?
No.
Did you ever see Scarface? I don't recall seeing Mickey Rourke in Scarface.
Well, that's because he could do better than that.
Like what?
9.5 Weeks, The Pope of Greenwich Village.
9.5 Weeks? That's a baby movie.
Rumblefish. These are classic
Rumble movies. Bum. Oh, get out of here. Oh, I wish I had my... Do I have my Mickey Rourke... play some music. It's
not in the DCS, so it's got to be on card.
Rourke will be on a show tomorrow, very briefly.
I think I've still got the master from that.
I think it's on one of my mini discs. I'm positive. We got it. We got a little Mickey Rourke, just enough to make you understand what he's all about. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's up, man?
How you doing, sir?
Good. Listen, I went to the game Friday night, and the problems with what's on the ice. This guy, I don't even think Whitney ever got out on the power play in that game. I think we had like 5 power plays at one.
Well, he doesn't have him playing the point on the power play. He was great on the point last year. Now he says he's too little, and so he's rated him useless, and he's going to destroy him. Just remember what I told you. You heard it. They gave me a bunch of crap 2 years ago, and I was right on target about Stu Barnes and Jason Woolley and this Chris Wells stiff. They gave me a lot of crap, and I'm telling you right now, Doug McClain destroyed Marty Straka, and Terry Murray will destroy Ray Whitney, and he'll be gone, and that's going to be a sad day for us.
Yep, I think him and his brother, they're both size queens, Neil.
There you go. You got it. You got it down to a science. Okay. They're size queens. That's the problem. I'm telling you, shame, Persian, bad disguise. Okay, that's just... Oh, by the way, anybody go out... Why haven't they bought this book? What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? Lost Rights by James Bovard. It's in paperback. I'm going to read some more from this tomorrow, man. It's going to make you pee in your pants. You'll want to run out and buy this book before it's too goddamn late. You'll make one trip to the bookstore to get the book, another stop at the passport office, and another stop at the goddamn El Aeroporto. Hank's coming up next from the Sporting Brews. Then we got the Boosters, 6 o'clock tonight. Eddie K with all the odds on the high school volleyball games, 10 o'clock tonight.
It's got to be something more than just friendly because, you know, when we listen to our radio station up there in Gainesville, we don't talk about Miami. And I can't figure out why you've got this.
A lot of people up there don't know Miami even exists. Come on.
I know.
They've never been out of Gainesville.
Why has it been personal? Just answer his question, Defo. It's been personal for a long time. Why? I have no idea.
Classic example, Bob. I welcome Gator fans to call in and talk about the Florida-Georgia game. And Steve and Joe have been very adamant in these post-show meetings saying, DeForest, you got to let them talk. And all you do for the first 5 minutes you're on the air here is rip me. You haven't said anything about the game.
Me? I'm telling you that I will turn your show on every day and listen to it, but it takes all of...
Come on.
The guy never said anything.
Now that's what we're talking about.
What's wrong with Gator fans.
Hang up on the guy.
And that guy's telling you right now why he basically doesn't like you.
Did you hear the previous caller who came to the forefront? He said, hey, we're not running scared. We're going to go up there, win the game. We let him finish his piece. This guy comes on. He just wants to attack me. Steve, how you doing? Glad to have you on the program.
Oh, I'm glad to be on here, Defo. You know, we listen to you day after day after day, and it's the same thing. Do you sit home at night and try to write your lines?
Say
Defo,
what?
You do that well. Is that your mating call?
No.
That wasn't me. That was Steve.
Boy.
Come on, Defo.
Well, what do you got to say? Give us something that means something to people out there listening to the program.
They're pissed off, Defo. The Gator fans
You've been ripping them for months.
You rip them, and you act like everything's fine.
You rip us, we should be able to rip you back if you can
go
take
ahead.
it.
I'm listening. I haven't heard anything yet.
Let's talk football, Defo. Let's talk football, all right? X's and O's.
Yeah.
All right? Play, Defo.
That is a great call. I appreciate you coming in here with that. Thank you, Dan.
All righty.
All right. There you go. See?
They don't
respect
like you,
the Gator
though.
fan. If a guy comes in with a little intelligence, that's fine. Coming in with the usual smarmy mouth stuff.
No. Stop the backhanded shots and just take the calls.
That's it. We got to take a break. 930 in the heat. 930-3000. Toll free in South Florida. Pound 5.
Well, let's go to Umatilla where Stephen is checking in with us tonight. Stephen,
hey, come on. That's not fair. No, that's not right.
I'll tell you, I got to
stop this already. I mean, we're trying to have a peace and harmony session
all of a sudden
with
you
Gator
want to
fans.
talk football.
I want to talk some football, some X's and O's. I like these calls that we're getting today. Come on, stop, Tommy. That's not right. We're trying to have a good time
You're
here.
the one that always tells him to play it. What do you mean he's not right?
I didn't tell him to play it.
Maybe not that
I had
time.
nothing to do with that. Finally getting some intelligent calls from Gator fans. I think it's a good thing, and I want it to continue. So we'll continue on. 930.
Went to either Florida State or University of Miami, because that would explain your feelings about the Gators, huh?
No, actually, it started with Spurrier a long time ago. I didn't really have any problem during the Charlie Pellgrant days or Galen Hall, but I just resented some of the things that Spurrier did. And next thing you know, he shined us on. He wouldn't come on any radio shows. He was taking pot shots at us. And just didn't like the guy in general.
Yeah, he is a pretty arrogant guy, but he's a great coach.
Thought he was a great coach. I'd never deny that.
Yeah.
Well, you're accomplishing something. You're getting the Gator fans to like you a little bit. Not exactly taking the shots you take when they're not on the phone, when they are on the phone.
Typical Jeff DeForest at his best.
How's that?
Well, you didn't stand up to him, but you just kind of downplayed it.
You soaked it to their faces when the people called.
Next thing we know, you'll be Saturday probably up at the game with Gator colors on.
Blue and orange, baby. Up in Jacksonville.
You are brutal.
Go Gators.
Oh, come on.
All right, so you don't buy that. That's fine. You know, I can understand that. No, I was happy to see that. You know, we did make some progress here today. Gator fans traditionally call in and say nothing. They just take pot shots at me. Today they brought some football knowledge to the program, and that's what this show is all about.
Let them talk fun.
Well, they said something intelligent.
You only hung up on one Gator today. Unlike other days when we have Gator calls, maybe 4, 5, 6 Gator fans get hung up on.
I got to admit, I didn't enjoy the show as much. Neil Rogers coming up.
AM. Can't beat that Gator meat.
WQAM, where the faggot is.
Can't beat that Gator meat.
10:03 at 560 WQM. Happy Wednesday to you. What is this obsession in this town with college sports? And not only college sports, but college. How far would you say it is? About 300 miles to Gainesville? I've never been there.
More?
350 miles?
That's about right.
No, it's 400 miles to Jacksonville. It can't be that.
Okay, like
300 miles away. The stuff that's going on here, does anybody care about that?
No.
But Gainesville, man, they're obsessed with Gainesville. Maybe we need to get an education here today. Maybe we need to talk to some people, not about the Gators. Who care? I saw a license tag. I'm going to get my mail last night at my post office box. And there's a guy in front of me. He's got one of those specialized license tags with a picture of a gator on it, and it says a picture of a Seminole thing. It said no gator was the thing. Nogator, no gator. Don't you want to, stick your finger kind of like in your nose? I mean, because every time I see either Steve Spurrier or Bobby Bowden, I mean, forget about Terry Bowden. Even, you know something? He saw a picture of himself on TV with a white shirt and the baseball cap, and he said, I'm so dang embarrassed, I got to get out of here. And he just ran off and quit. He hauled ass and quit. But what is it about college sports in this town? I mean, I thought this was like a sports station because I see a piece of mail that Greg Reed got this morning, which thank God he shared with me. Because we like to know when the end is near. And it says, get rid of Neil Rogers. We want sports. Oh! Unsigned, of course. No signature, no address, no nothing. Get rid of Neil Rogers. We want sports. So even though his ratings are like double anybody else on the station, you realize that, did we get a response on that where the 10-2 numbers are yet?
No.
Well, why not? Let's get with it over there. Okay, it's Wednesday already. The book came out on Friday. Let's get those 10-2 numbers so we have our own real numbers these 4 hours, and we can sit here and brag about them, how great they are. Like kind of morning drive and afternoon drive put together in some demographics. And bringing in more money, making more money than any other day part. But let's get rid of Neil because he don't want to talk sports, and he especially don't want to talk about that nose-picking Gator crap and Seminole crap. And we're going to send the big black guy away. We're going to send him out wide, and he's going to run like a mother scratcher, and we're going to throw him the ball, and we're going to score. And I mean, get serious, will you please? So I noticed, and of course when I do talk sports, there's no response anyway because I talk about a real sport like hockey, which we got the game with the Red Wings tonight, and we got 1,000 unsold tickets for that, including the 500 Panther pack. So please, let's fill that joint up. I heard Gordon Murphy on with the worst team this morning. Nice going, Gordy. Good guy, very articulate. Actually said something. As a part, they had basically no calls. There was some Schwarzer called in about some dolphin injury, and not Craig Erickson, but somebody else I never heard of, and that was it. Some schvo. But there wasn't any discussion about the situation with Whitney, which he may now play on a second line. We understand if he does, you know who to thank for that. Yeah, I understand that Terry Murray was having big, gigantic movements yesterday during the course of this show. See, this ain't one of those places where you can run and hide because I'm going to expose all the crap you guys are doing, even if we get no response to it. Like I said, they had no calls about that this morning, and they were going on and on at great length about the benching of Whitney and Svala and about Terry Murray being a hard ass, and they had Gordon Murphy on there. Did they have one call about that?
No.
No, but we had all Defoe's got to do is get out Geldy's goat, which I think is the one that Terry and Brian Murray were photographed doing. Get that goat out. And start with that Gator stuff, and here they come, one after another, with one finger in their nostril, one in their rectum, and start with that Gator crap. And here we are in Miami. You know, it's interesting. The one call I did hear was the guy who sat up there on Gainesville radio. They don't talk about the Hurricanes. They talk about the Gators. They talk about what they're doing up there. Which they're not in the same conference. What's the big deal? What's the attraction? But because we have so many people down here who had the misfortune of going to school up there, See, I went to a school where we have a crappy football team, Michigan State. We had a couple of good years, 67, and a couple of good years along the way over the years. But you know something? Does anybody really care all that much?
No.
I mean, there's plenty of corruption and plenty of a scandal and plenty of illiterate jocks up there. But does anybody really care that went to Michigan State whether the team loses or not? We got a great hockey team, but do we care about the fact that our football team sucks?
No.
And that Michigan, year in and year out, like this year, almost every year beats the snot out of us? We beat Notre Dame this year. Oh. There you go. That's our claim to fame. We don't need to do anything else. But these people that go to school at some college and right away they become obsessed with the football team, obsessed like it's a replacement, a substitute for a life. I don't get it. I don't understand it. That's sports talk in this town. Not professional sports, college sports. I'm going to tell you something. Maybe we can actually work it down to a meaningful level. We can start talking high school sports. How about junior high sports? How about kindergarten sports? All right. There's a kid over there who plays at Miami High, about 7 years old, baby. He's growing. He's about 6'2" already. 6 years old, 6'2". Hung like a moose. And we're going to send him out there. He's going to go out wide, and he's going to run like a mother. He's going to run a goddamn and they're going to heave that thing up there. They're going to do a Hail Mary. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Don't you think it's...
unbelievable.
I do. It's amazing to me. That grown people, that adults, are so obsessed and just so full of, like, psychosis about this. Like it's important. Like the future of the world depends on Gator football or Seminole football or Hurricane football, depending on who got the biggest, schmoes this year. Stuff like that. Isn't that what it really is all about? Who's got the biggest schmoes? Because I'm going to tell you, Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden, you put the two of them together, and you still have minus points in the IQ column. Yahoo! Every time I see those guys, Yahoo! That's what comes to mind. I think of the things that are wrong with the state of Florida. Not the things that are nice about it, like the weather most of the time. Like those nice, pretty palm trees, stuff like that. But I think of the things that are wrong when I see those guys. Like, I got my finger all the way up to where my brain used to be. In fact, maybe that's what happened. Maybe they had their finger up there so much where the brain used to be, they kind of like scratched it out. When in doubt, it kind of fell out. You know what I'm talking about? I think you do. 9 minutes.
Where you AM.
Can beat that Gator meat. Can beat that Gator meat.
So George just had some hysterical lunatic on the phone, which I wish we could have gotten him on. The fact that I discuss sports, therefore I'm a hypocrite. I don't discuss sports. I talk about hockey, which is a level above all the other sports in a class by itself. How about that game last night, even though it was a scoreless tie, okay? Not college football, which is for overgrown children. I mean, why don't we talk about college soccer? How about lacrosse? Very big in colleges up there in the Ivy League. They play lacrosse. How about college golf? Huh? College swimming, college diving. That's what Greg Lousanis always said. Divers do it deeper. That's what he said. Now look what happened to him. I mean, let's, get into the nitty-gritty. That's the problem with this town. You don't hear it. Like during the Marlins thing this year. I mentioned this yesterday. Is there any intelligent discussion about baseball? Hey, Eddie, you think Levon's going to win 20 games this year? That's the level of conversation you got about baseball in this town. This Mike Piazza thing, if we had real sports fans in this town, and people be screaming about this, they'd be having a nervous breakdown. And by the way, the Mets only paid $30 million more for the whole deal than the next highest offer. Smart move there, Mets. But do we have any comment about that?
No.
They talk about college sports. That's and even what they do talk is caca, nonsense. Oh, my school's better than yours is. And Defoe, where'd you go to school? You're some kind of a Seminole? Oh, my God. You're some kind of a Hurricane? That's not sports talk. That's caca. That's baby crap. That's like that. So the notion that I'm the evil one on here, there must be a reason that all these people are tuned in, like the guy that was screaming at you that claims he's going back to change his radio right now, who listens every single goddamn day and is listening as I speak right now, but doesn't have the cojones to call and speak to me and wants to berate you because he's such a macho man. He's probably a goddamn Gator, if you ask me. And you know something? The Gators, the Seminoles, and the Hurricanes, they can all kiss my big fat
rectum,
because I don't give a crap about any of them. Except I do like to see the Hurricanes lose. I do like that. I'll confess to that. I was very, very sad when Dave Lamont was shrieking and yelling and screaming at the end of that West Virginia game on Saturday that the field goal was wide right or wide left or wide something, because I couldn't understand what he was saying, because he was screaming so goddamn loud as if it was about something very important, which it wasn't. But nevertheless, I do enjoy seeing them lose because, number one, of the corruption of the program, and number two, because of the fun. It's a phantom thing in this town. They couldn't even sell out the FSU game. With 60% or 80% of the people who were there were Seminole fans, they couldn't even sell out that game, could they?
No.
That's right. But if they should have like one of their glory years again all of a sudden, then they'll be packing 80,000 phony front run. This town is great for that, front-running phonies. Very big on that. So I'll talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about, thank you, and the response will be just the same, none, nil, just like I heard this morning. See, I feel much better about it now. There's only one person on this station that gets phone calls, that's Hank. Have you noticed that? Hank, no, seriously, Hank can sit down and do his 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever and ramble on, and there you go. Here's Tom and Davey, one after another after another. Now, most of them are, of course, compulsive gamblers, but nevertheless, I salute Hank the fact that his phones ring off the hook. Morning show, do they get calls?
No.
Do we get calls? No. Forget it. I got to pop a bone to get these bastards off their ass. They're out there. Just like that guy that's calling you, screaming and hollering, but they're intimidated. See, I'm supposed to be the limp-wristed fag. They're supposed to be the macho man, and of course, they're hiding behind the anonymity of the telephone. Which is, I mean, even less excuse for them not having the cojones to talk to me. But they just can't do it. Can they do it?
No.
No. I want to hear right now from some people that tell me about Gainesville. What do you give me a look like that for? I've never been to Gainesville. I would like to find out something about what kind of a community. Is it kind of like Lakeland? I've driven through Lakeland. That's a horrible place.
I've never driven through Lakeland. But it's
nice. Is it kind of like
Lake
City? I've driven to, is it like that, where they have a horse country, a lot of horses' asses running around?
You know, it's a college town, a lot of young people running around, a lot of bricks, a lot of ivy on the walls. Creeks.
Ivy?
You can go float the Itchituck.
Ivy on the walls? Are you making it sound like kind of like Harvard now, something like that, like Ivy League?
No, it's just
like Dartmouth or Penn or Cornell or one of the Ivy League school, kind of like Brown?
No.
Oh.
I wouldn't know.
Like an institution of higher learning? I mean, does anybody learn anything in